Bhuva swaham tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhyo yo na prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Vishnave Namo Namaham Vishnave Namo Namaham Vishnave Namo Namaham. One person will take the bowl of water in the hand, and we are going to sprinkle firstly around all the budgets, the prayer goods, sprinkle it around please, and on yourselves. Hari Om apavitro pavitro va sarva avasthan gatopi vam yam smareta pundarikaksha sabhaya abhyantara suchi. One person will hold a bowl of water in the left hand. We are now going to drink water in our right hand. So please, if you can, now leave the bowl of water on the budget. Leave the bowl of water on the budget, and everybody drinks water in the right hand 3 times. Hari Om Keshavai Namaham. Again. Om Madhavai Namo Namaham. Again. Om Govindai Namo Namaham. One more time, rinse your hands. Hari Om Rishikeshai Namo Namaham. Hasta Prakshalanam Namo Namaham. Can light your lamps and light your agarbati. Hari Om Deepam Darshayami. Narayana Swarupai Namo Namaham. You can take your agarbati, light it on the divas if you can also. Ishwar Bhai. Hari Om Dhupam Deepam Darshayami. Madhu. Ishwar, come chant for me. Hari Om Brahmanebhyo Namo Namaham. Hari Om Swasti na Indro Riddha Swaha Swasti na Pusha Visveda Swasti na Stakshayo Aristanemim Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadatu. In your tray you got 2 red strings. You're going to tie for one another. All married women on their left hand and the rest on the right hand. Can tie for one another. Hari Om Yena Baddo Baliraja Dana Vendro Mahabalam Tena Trapati Badanami Rakshamachala Machalam. Yena Baddo Baliraja Dana Vendro Mahabalam Tena Trapati Badanami Rakshamachala Machalam. Hari Om Yena Baddo Baliraja Dana Vendro Mahabalam Tena Trapati Badanami Rakshamachala Machalam. Om Yena Baddo Baliraja Dana Vendro Mahabalam तेन त्वा प्रतिबध्नामि रक्ष्यमाचलमाचल ओम येन बद्धो बलिराजदानवेन्द्रो महाबलम तेन त्वा प्रतिबध्नामि रक्ष्यमाचलमाचल ओम येन बद्धो बलिराजदानवेन्द्रो महाबलम तेन त्वा प्रतिबध्नामि रक्ष्यमाचलमाचल ओम येन बद्धो बलिराजदानवेन्द्रो महाबलम तेन त्वा प्रतिबध्नामि रक्ष्यमाचलमाचल ओम येन बद्धो बलिराजदानवेन्द्रो महाबलम तेन त्वा प्रतिबध्नामि रक्ष्यमाचलमाचल Both of you are now going to take 1 teaspoon of water in your right hand with the teaspoon. With the teaspoon. Got 2 teaspoons there. Hari Om Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Mahaganapate Namo Namah Vinayakam Gurum Bhanu Brahma Vishnu Maheshwaram Saraswati Pranamyado Sarva Karyatta Siddhaye. Offer that water in your wash tray. Wash tray there in the front. Thank you. Again, take water in your right hand with the teaspoon. Sankalp undertaking that we are now going to do the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha puja. Hari Om Vishnu 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 Subhakari Mase Vaishaka Mase Krishna Pakshe Ravivara Vasare Chaturdashi Titi Omam Evam Guno Vishishteno Vishishtaya Subha Punya Titi Mamatmanam Dorita Saryatam Hari Om Shri Ganapathi Pujanam Narayana Pujanam Kalasha Pujanam Navgra Devta Pujanam Satya Narayana Kathayamam Aham Karisye Pani Tharima Mukidaye. We are now going to do Ganapathi puja. You can take this small murti without the pan and put it in your wash tray. Without the pan. Those on your left hand side will do the Ganapathi puja. Both of you take water in your hands. Meditate on Ganapathi. Hari Om Namaste Ganapate Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi Tvameva Sarva Alvidam Brahmasi Tvam Sakshat Ati Nityam Rutam Vachami Satyam Vachami Avatvam Vaktaram Shrotaram Dataram Dhataram Mavanuchanam Avishishyam Prashwanatatam Puratatam Dakshinatatam Chodarvatatam Sarvato Mam Pahi Pahi Samam Tatam. Offer that water onto Ganapathi. Take water again. Shan, you can also take water with the teaspoon. With the teaspoon. Hari Om Bhumi Rapo Nalo Leelam Chatvari Vakapadani Gunatrayatitayam Vastatrayatitayam Dehatrayatitayam Kalatrayatitayam Vastatrayatitayam Hari Om Muladharo Tito Asi Nityam Rutam Vachamiham Hari Om Yogino Jayantiyo Nityam Tvam Brahma Tvam Vishnu Tvam Rudra Tvam Indra Tvam Agni Tvam Vayu Tvam Surya Tvam Chandrama Tvam Brahma Om Bhurbuvam Ganadim Purvamurtarye Varanadi Stadantaram. Offer that water onto Ganapathi. Both take few petals of flowers in your hand. Meditate on Ganapathi. Hari Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno danti prachodayat ekadantam chaturastam pasumandrakam dharinim rudam cha vardehastam vibranam mushakadvajam raktam lambodaram surpakandakam raktam vasasam raktam gandhanuliptam pangagam raktam pushpeham supujitam bhaktanukampinam devam jagat karanam achyutam avibhutam cha shrutayado prakrutahe पुरुषात् परम एवं ध्यायन्ति यो नित्यं स योगी योगिनामवरहं नमो व्रातपतये नमो गणपतये नमः प्रमथपतये नमस्ते अस्तु लंबोदराय एकदन्ताय विघ्ननाशिने शिवसूताय शिवरदमूर्तये धूपं दीपं नैवेद्यं. Offer the flowers at the feet of Ganapathi. Hari Om Gam Ganapate Namo Namaham. We are going to invoke the blessings of Surya Narayan Bhagwan, those members that are going to do the Navgra puja. On my left, that is on your right, you will do a dot on the middle sopari in the Navgra. The middle sopari is Surya Narayan Bhagwan and the 9 planets on the budget. We will do chandlo on that middle sopari and then offer rice on it. Hari Om Surya Narayana Pujanam. Om Swasti Na Indro Vredaswaha Swasti Na Pushaha Visvaveda Swasti Nastakshayo Arishtanemim Swasti No Brihaspatira Dadatum Akshatamam Samarpayami. Both take flowers in the hand. Don't move the sopari, please. Only one sopari, and leave the sopari back in the middle there, please. Both Yajman take flowers in their hands. Meditate and invite Surya Narayan Bhagwan to join us in the puja. Hari Om Adi Deva Namastubhyam Prasiddha Mama Bhaskaram Divakara Namastubhyam Prabhakara Namastute. Hari Om Nama Suryaya Shantaya Sarva Roga Vinashine Mama Visatta Datva Prasiddham Parameshwaram Ujjinadde Mitramahu Arohananam Taram Devam Sarva Roga Mama Surya Harimanashtanashayam Om Bhaskaraya Vidmahe Prabhakaraya Dhimahi Tanno Bhanu Prachodayat Om Suryaya Sahasrakirnaya Om Sri Surya Narayan Devtabhyo Namo Namam Iti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamale Samarpayami. Offer it in the middle of the sopari there. Hari Om Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamale Samarpayami. Same Yajman will take flowers again in the hand. Both Yajmans take few petals of flowers in your hand. Pay our respects to the lamp that's on the budget at the end of the mantra. Offer those flowers in front of the lamp. Divanudyandaryem Hari Om Sajyam Chavati Sayuktam Vahinam Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grihanam Deveshya Trilokya Timirapam Hari Om Trilokya Timirapam Hari Om Deepam Darshayami. Both take flowers again in your hand. Pay our respects to the prasad that's on offer at the end of the mantra. We will offer those flowers on the fruit at the beginning of the budget, right in the end there. Okay. Hari Om Sajyam Chavati Sayuktam Vahinam Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grihanam Deveshya Trilokyam Timirapam Hari Om Skradruta Sanyuktam Madhur Swada Chotamam Upaharam Samayuktam Nevedyam Pratigriyatam Nevedyam Pratigriyamiti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamale Samarpayami. person that's going to be doing the Ganapathi puja will offer 6 drops of Panchamrit onto Ganapati. One on my 6 drops of Panchamrit onto. At the end of the mantra, take again, offer, take again, offer. Okay. Hari Om Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Mama Ganapate Namo Namam Paya Keta Dudom Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Paya Snanam Samarpayami. Offer, take again. Dadi Keta Dayom Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Dadi Snanam Samarpayami. Take again. Trita Keta Giyom Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Trita Snanam Samarpayami. Take again. Madhu Keta Madhom Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Madhu Snanam Samarpayami. Again. Sakra Keta Sakarom Siddhi Buddhi Sahit Sakra Snanam Samarpayami. Again, one more time. Om Panchamrita Snanam Samarpayami. We are now going to give the murti a nice bath. One person will hold that murti in that wash tray. One person will pour water from the water bowl. We will give it a nice bath. Wipe it with your hand towel and put it back onto the pan on the budget. Okay. Hari Om Ganga Jala Samam Sitam Nadi Tirtha Samudram Bhavam Snanarte Chamaya Dattam Gretamam Parmeshwaram Gretamam Parmeshwaram. Wipe it and then put it back on the pan there. Hari Om. That wash tray down, please. Whilst one yajman is doing the pujas, the other yajman must touch their hands. Okay, thank you. One that's going to do the Ganapati puja will put a dot on Ganapati murti. Trisha? Hari Om, red dot. Hari Om Swasti na Indro Riddha Swaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwaveda Swasti na Stakshayo Aristanemim Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatum. Offer rice to the dot. Om Akshitamam Samarpayami. In your cotton tray, you got 2 small white threads. Same person will offer one thread to Ganapati, you drape it onto Ganapati. Hari Om Vastradharanam Samarpayami. The second white thread is Janoi. All Bhagwans are Brahmins, and all Brahmins wear the sacred thread called the Janoi. Hari Om Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah Janoya Dharanam Samarpayami. Both Yajman take few petals, flowers in their hand. Hari Om Sumulyadini Sugandhini Malatyadini Ve Prabhu Mayaritani Pujata Pushpani Pratigritama Pushpani Pratigritama Pushpani Pratigritama. Offer it to Ganapati. Hari Om. Take that bowl down. That bowl that you got on top. Put it down. Yeah. Thank you. In your green tray, you got grass. Take a few pieces and offer it to Ganapati. Hari Om Durva Ashtakam Samarpayami. In your tray, you got the colors there. White, purple and orange. A pinch of each onto Ganapati. Okay, white first, followed by purple, then orange. Hari Om Sobhagye Abhile Mayusho Vriddhi purple. Gulale pritivardhanam sindurenam samayuktam griyatamam parmeshwaram. You? Both take flowers in the hand, meditate on Ganapathi. Hari Om Vakratunda Makaya Surikoti Samaprabham Nirvignam Kurumedeva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvadam. Hari Om Tadeva Lagnam Sudinam Tadevam Tarabalam Chandrabalam Tadevam Vidyabalam Devabalam Tadevam Lakshmi Patayedrigam Smarami Labastesham Jayastesham Kritastesham Parajayam Yesharmindi Varasyamo Radayasto Janardanam Om Sarva Vignam Haram Devam Sarva Vignam Vivarjitam Sarva Siddhi Pradataram Vandeham Siddhi Vinayakam Om Saraswati Pranamyado Sarva Karyartha Siddhaye. Hari Om. Offer the flowers to Ganapathi. Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamalye Samarpayami. That person that's doing the Ganapathi puja will hold the flower thari in their hand. The other Yajman will touch. We are going to offer one petal flower at the feet of Ganapathi. Okay? Whenever I say Namaha, and keep offering. Hari Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Ekadantaya Namaham. Carry on. Vignanashaya Namaham. Sumukhay Namo Namaham. Kapilay Namo Namaham. Ganadakshaya Namo Namaham. Vikatay Namo Namaham. Balachandray Namo Namaham. Sachi Purnabhyaya Namo Namam, Garjakarnakaya Namo Namam, Dumraketave Namo Namam, Vishalaya Namo Namam, Vinayakaya Namo Namam, Lambodharaya Namo Namam, Gramadivtabhyo Namo Namam, Uma Maheshwaraya Namo Namam, Gam Ganapate Namo Namam, Gam Ganapate Namo Namam, Gam Ganapate Namo Namam, Gam Ganapate Namo Namam, Om Gam Ganapate Namo Namam iti mantra pushpanjali charna kamalye samarpayami. We are now going to offer prasad to Ganapathi. So we take one tulsi patra in our hand, put the prasad onto the tulsi patra and then offer it at the feet of Ganapathi. Put the prasad on the tulsi. Prasad on the tulsi. Hari Om Skaradruta Sayuktam Madhuraswada Chotamam Upaharam Samayuktam Nevedyam Pratigriyatam Nevedyam Pratigriyatam. One drop of water onto Ganapathi. The Yajman doing Ganapathi puja. Hari Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Iti Ganapati Pujanam Sampurnama. Bolo Ganapati Gajanana Ki Jai. Those members that are going to do the Navgra Devta puja, it's on my left, that line there. Yashika, you will continue to do that. The 9 planets are the ones that control our destiny. We pay our respects to each of those 9 planets to ensure that our life is calm, without any obstacles and without any difficulties and challenges. So we here to appease the planets. You will take the kanku tray in your hand and you are now going to put a dot on all of the 9 soparis there. Right? 9 soparis. Chandlo for each of the soparis. Hari Om Swasti na Indro Vriddha Swaha Swasti na Pusha Visvaveda Swasti na Stakshayo Aristanemim Swasti no Brihaspatira Dadatum. Then offer rice onto the soparis also. Hari Om Akshitamam Samarpayami. Akshitamam samarpayami. Akshitamam samarpayami. Om Akshitamam samarpayami. Om Akshitamam samarpayami. The Yajman that's going to do the Navgra puja will hold the flower thari in their hand. We are going to pay our respects to each of these planets, starting with Surya Narayan in the middle. At the end of the mantra, you will offer a few petals of flowers, and immediately in front of that, Chandra, and then you're going to go around. At the end of each mantra, you will offer flowers. Okay? Starting with Surya in the middle. Okay? Hari Om Navgra Devta Pujanam. Hari Om. At the end of the mantra, I'll tell you when to offer. Hari Om Grihanam Adiradityo Lokarakshana Karakam Visham Sthana Sambhutam Pidarham Tume Ravi Om Surya Narayan Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Hari Om Rohini Sah Sudhamurti Sudha Gatra Sudashana Visham Sthana Sambhutam Pidarham Tume Viduhu Chandra Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Front of Surya. Front of Surya. The first one there. Yeah, then you're going to go around. Okay. Hari Om Bhumi Putro Mahatejo Jagatam Bayakrit Sadam Vrashtika Drashti Hartacham Pedarham Tumeham Mangar Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Hari Om Otapato Rupo Jagatam Chandra Putro Mahadruti Surya Priyo Karo Vidwan Pedarham Tume Buddham Buddha Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Deva Mantri Vishalaksha Sada Loka Hiterata Anasya Sisya Sanyuktam Pedarham Tume Guruhu Guru Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Deity Mantri Guru Tesham Pranadashwa Mahamati Prabhustara Grihanashwam Pedarham Tume Mruguhu Sukra Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Hari Om Surya Putra Dirgadeho Vishalaksha Shiva Priya Mandachara Prasanna Atma Pidarham Tume Sanihi Sani Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Aneka Rupo Vaneshwa Satashota Sahasrasha Utapato Rupo Jagtam Pidarham Tume Sikihi Ketu Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. Hari Om Mahashiro Mahavakro Dirgadrashto Mahabala Atunashwa Ondarva Kesascha Pidarham Tume Tamaham Rahu Devtabhyo Namo Namaham. You're going to take few in your hand, you're going to sprinkle it on all 9 planets. Hari Om Brahma Murari Stipurantakari Bhanu Sashi Bhumo Suto Buddhascha Guruscha Shukra Sani Rahu Kaitava Sarve Graha Shanti Kara Bhavantu. We are going to offer prasad to Navgra Devta. Again, we take a Tulsi Patra, put the prasad on the Tulsi Patra and offer it to where the middle sopari is. Hari Om Skradruta Sayuktam Madhuraswada Chotamam in front of the middle sopari. Sakradruta Sayuktam Madhuraswada Chotamam Upaharam Samayuktam Nevedyam Pratigritama Nevedyam Pratigritama. You're going to hold that water bowl in your hand and you're going to put one drop of water on all 9 soparis. Okay? Hari Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Hari Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Carry on offering right through. Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami Iti Navgra Devta Pujanam Sampurnam. Bolo Navgra Devta Bhagwan Ki Jai. We are now going to invoke the blessings of Varuna Devta, Lord of the ocean. At the beginning of the puja, we sprinkled water around each and every one of you, and also all the puja samagri, purifying and sanctifying everything in preparation for the puja. Then we prepared you by asking you to drink water 3 times, invoke the blessings of Varun Bhagwan. Water is one of the best natural gifts that God has given us. So let's pay our respects to Varun Bhagwan. One that is elected to do the Kalsa Puja, the Lota Puja, will offer 3 teaspoons of water into the Lota. Okay? 3 teaspoons, leave the Lota there. Come more closer, yeah? Hari Om Vam Varunaya Namo Namah. Again. Vam Varunaya Namo Namah. Again. Vam Varunaya Namo Namah. We are going to do a dot on all 4 sides of the lota. So you can hold the flower thari, the kanku thari in your hand, and after you put the dot, you can put the rice also. Hari Om in the middle of the lota. Om Swasti in the middle. Swasti na Indro Radha Swaha, Swasti na Pusha Visvaveda, Swasti na Stakshayo Arishtanemim, Swasti no Brihaspati Dadatum. Offer the rice on the dot. Hari Om Akshatamam Samarpayami, Akshatamam Samarpayami, Akshatamam Samarpayami. Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah. On the coconut you will see a red string there. You can tie the red string around the lota, put a knot in the front. Om Yena Baddo Balirajadana Vendro Mahabalam Tena Trapati Badanami Rakshama Chala Machala. Shan, move your agarbatti stand in the corner there. Both Yajman take few petals, flowers in your hand. At the end of the mantra, offer those flowers into the lota. Hari Om Su Mulyadini Sugandhini Malityadini Ve Prabhu Mayarhitani Pujartha Pushpani Pratigritamam Pushpani Pratigritamiti Mantra Pushpanjali Charna Kamale Samarpayami. Madhuben, that small garland for Ganapathi, just offer it there, please. Drape it around Ganapathi. In your green tray, you got the rest of the grass or turf. Offer all that into the lota. Take all those turf and offer it into the lota. Hari Om Durva Ashtakam Samarpayami. In the tray there, you got 1 betel leaf, coin, and betel nut. Hold that in your hand, wrap it up, and we're going to offer that into the lota. Hari Om Pan Sopari Dravyam Samarpayami. You know the old people? Whenever we go to the beach, they will always take out 1 coin and offer it to Gangama. Remember Samudra Manthan, Who came out of Samudra Manthan? Mahalakshmi. What did she have in her hand? Kalsa. What was in the kalsa? Money and rice. That is why we give back to the ocean what the ocean has given to us. So we pay our respects to the oceans. Both of you take flowers in your hand. Om Nana Sugandha Pushpani Yatha Kalodbhavani Cha Pushpanjali Maya Datta Grihanama Parmeswaram Iti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamali Samarpayami. In your green tray you got 5 mango leaves. We are going to offer those 5 mango leaves into the lota. The stem goes in first. And then spread it out. Okay? Open it out. Hari Om Amba Patra Pujanam. Om Amba Patra Pujanam. Amba Patra Pujanam. Hari Om Amba Patra Pujanam. Yajman will take the coconut in their hand. The other Yajmans will hold their hands. Hari Om Sarva Samudra Saritas Tirtani Jaladanada Ayantu Deva Pujarya Duritakshaya Karakam. Hari Om Kalasasye Mukhe Vishnu Kante Rudra Sramasitam Muli Tatro Tito Brahma Madhye Matru Grana Smruta Kukshotu Sagara Sarva Sattva Dvipava Sundara Riga Vedascha Yajurvedascha Samavedascha Arthavedascha Hatavarna Angeshwam Sahita Sarva Kala Shanti Samasitam Asmina Kalashevarunam Sagam Saparivar Sayudde Sasakti Kamyami Sri Falama Stapayami. Offer that colors onto the mango leaves. Hari Om up. Om Shri Phalam Samarpayami. Make it straight. Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah. We are now going to do a dot in the middle of the coconut day and then offer rice on the coconut. Hari Om Swasti Na Indro Riddha Swaha Swasti Na Pusha Visvavedam Swasti Nastakshayo Arishtanemim Swasti No Brihaspatira Dadatu Akshatamam Samarpayami. In your cotton tray you got slightly longer white threads, 2 of them. The longer ones. The first thread is after we finish bath, the first thing we do is we put clothes. So the first thread represents Vastra. So we offer the first one. Hari Om Vastradaranam Samarpayami. Open it up. Vastradaranam Samarpayami. The second thread represents Janoi. Hari Om Yagna Pavitam Samarpayami. Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah. Both Yajman take flowers in the hand. Offer it on top of the coconut at the end of the mantra. Hari Om So Mulyadi Nisu Gandhi Nimalatyadi Nive Prabhu Mayaritani Pujarta Pushpani Pratigretama Iti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamali Samarpayami. Again we are going to offer the colors white, purple, orange. A pinch of each onto the coconut. Hari Om Sobhagye Abhile Mayusho Vriddhi Gulale Pritivardhanam Sindurenam Samayuktam Griyatamam Parmeshwaram. Hari Om Madhuben, you got a garland there for the lota? The bigger one. Drape that around the lota. Hari Om Pushpamalam Samarpayami. Open one day, no? Om Pushpamala Samarpayami. Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah. And so put that word mala around the coconut. Word mala around the coconut. Wow. That's okay. Both Yajmans will take flowers in their hand. We are going to invite all the sacred rivers of the world to join us in this puja and the Katha. Hari Om Ganga Sindhu Saraswati Chayamunam Godavari Narmadam Kaveri Sarayu Mahendra Tanayam Gunavanti Sevitam Shipra Vaitravati Mahasura Nadi Kyata Gaya Gandaki Purnam Purna Jale Samudra Saitam Kurvantu no Mangalam Kurvantu no Mangalam Kurvantu no Mangalam iti mantra Pushpanjali Charna Kamali Samarpayami. Onto the coconut. We are going to offer prasad to Varuna Devta. So take one tulsi patra in your hand. Offer prasad. Hari Om Sakradruta Sayuktam Madhuraswada Chotamam Paharam Samayuktam Nevedyam Pratigritam in front of the lota. Nevedyam Pratigritam. 1 drop water onto the coconut. Hari Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Iti Varuna Devata Pujanam Sampurnama. Bolo Varuna Devta Bhagwan ki jai. We are going to invoke the blessings of Narayan Bhagwan. Yajmans on my left will do the Narayan Puja. Please put the murti into the wash tray without the pan. Both Yajmans take water in your hands. Hari Om Avahayeta Tam Garudo Parisitam Rumadadeham Surarajwadittam Kansatakam Chakra Gadabjahastam Pajamideham Vasudevam Sunum Om Panchaya Devabhyo Namo Namama Avahanam Karisye. Offer it to Narayan. Take water again in your hand. Hari Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Padmanabham Suresam Viswadaram Gagana Sadrisam Megavaranam Subhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamalanayanam Yogi Vidyanagamyam Vande Vishnu Bhaubhayaharam Sarvalokekanatham Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Sri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Offer it to Narayan. Both Yajmans take few petals, flowers in the hand. Hari Om Mangalam Bhagavana Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalaya Tano Harim Sarva Mangala Mangaliye Shive Sarvata Sadike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namotute. Hari Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Sri Govindaya Namo Namam. Offer it at the feet of Narayan Bhagwan. Again, the Yajman will offer 6 drops of Panchamrit onto Narayan Murti. Drop, take again, drop, take again. Okay. Hari Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Hari Om Paya Keta Dudom Lakshmi Narayanam Samarpayami. Take again. Dadi Keta Day Om Lakshmi Narayanam Samarpayami. Again. Dhrata Keta Ghi Om Lakshmi Narayanam Samarpayami. Again. Madhu Keta Madhom Lakshmi Narayanam Samarpayami. Again. Sakra Keta Sakar Om Lakshmi Narayanam Samarpayami. Again. Om Panchamrita Snanam Samarpayami. Again, we are now going to give Narayan Bhagwan a nice bath. So one person will hold the murti in the hand and the other person will pour water in the wash tray. Hari Om, wipe it and then put it back on the pan. Hari Om. Hold the murti in your hand, please. Hari Om, Ganga Jala Samamsitam Naditirtha Samudram Bhavam Snanarte Chamaya Dattam Griyatamam Parmeshwara Griyatama Parmeshwara Griyatamam Parmeshwara. Wipe it and put it back on the pan. Hari Om Lakshmi Narayanaya Namam Suddhadda Kosnanama Samarpayami. We are going to do red dot Kanku Chandlo to Narayan Bhagwan. And then wipe your fingers. Hari Om Swasti Na Indro Riddha Swaha Swasti Na Pusha Vishwaveda Swasti Nastakshayo Aristanemim Swasti No Brihaspati Dadatu. Wipe your hands, and now we are going to do Chandan Chandlo for Narayan Bhagwan. Yellow one in your tray there. Just mix it a little bit. Hari Om Sri Khandanam Chandanam Divyam Sumanoharam Vilepitam Surushreshtamaya Dattam Griyatamam Parmeshwaram. You can offer rice now. Hari Om Akshatamam Samarpayami. In your cotton tray you got 2 more white threads there. One at a time, you can drape it over the murti. Hari Om Vastradaranam Samarpayami. The second thread, Janoi. Hari Om Yagnapavitam Samarpayami. Both Yajman take flowers in the hand. Om Sumulyadini Sugandhini Malityadini Ve Prabhu Mayaritani Pujartha Pushpani Pratigritama Pushpani Pratigritama. Offer it to Narayan Bhagwan. Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namaham. Got the colors there, white, purple, orange. Hari Om, white. Sobhagye abhile mayusho vruddhi gulale pritivardhanam sindurenam samayuktam griyatamam parmeshwaram. Hari Om Lakshmi Narayanam Sobhagya Bhadrani Samarpayami. In your green tray, you got tulsi. Hold that tulsi tray in your hand. The other Yajman will hold the flower tray in the hand. The Yajman that is doing the puja will hold the tulsi tray in the hand, and the other Yajman will hold the flower thari. We are going to offer one tulsi at the feet of Narayan, simultaneously few petals of flowers together at the feet of Narayan Bhagwan. Okay? At the end of the mantra, and we keep on offering. Okay? Hari Om Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Hari Om Vishnave Namo Namaham. Om Vasudevaya Namo Namaham. Om Keshavaya Namo Namaham. Om Madhavaya Namo Namaham. Om Govindaya Namo Namaham. Om Achyutaya Namo Namaham. Om Anadaya Namo Namaham. Om Anantaya Namo Namaham. Om Janardanaya Namo Namaham. Om Madhusudanaya Namo Namaham. Om Rishikeshaya Namo Namaham. Om Krishnaya Namo Namaham. Om Narayanaya Namo Namaham. Om Nandakine Namo Namaham. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Namaham. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Namaham. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namo Namaham. Iti mantra pushpanjali tulsi dalam samarpayami. Both Yajmans take flowers in the hand. Let's meditate on Lakshmi Narayan Bhagavan. Hari Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramanandam Madhavam. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvajam Mangalam Pundarirkaksha Mangalaya Tano Harim. Hari Om Anyata Sharanam Nasti Tvamevam Sharanam Mama Tasmad Karuna Bhavinam Rakshamam Parameswaram. Hari Om Namaste Garudarude Kolasur Bhayankarim Sarva Papa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Hari Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhakti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanora Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Sri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Sri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Sri Krishnam Vande Jagadguru. Iti mantra pushpanjali charana kamalye samarpayami. We are now going to take one tulsi patra in our hand, and we are now going to offer soji prasad onto the tulsi patra and offer it at the feet of Narayan. Got a teaspoon there? Little bit of soji prasad onto the tulsi and offer it at the feet of Narayan. Hari Om Sakradruta Sayuktam Madhura Swada Chotamam Upaharam Samayuktam Nevedyam Pratigritam. Nevedyam Pratigritam. Nevedyam Pratigritam. Madhuben, that garland we offered to Narayan Bhagavan. Hari Om Pushpamalam Samarpayami. Om Pushpamalam Samarpayami. One drop water onto Narayan Bhagavan. Hari Om Achmanyam Jalam Samarpayami. Iti Lakshmi Narayana Pujanam Sampurnama. Bolo Sri Lakshmi Narayan Bhagavan ki Jai. Both Yajmans take flowers in your hand. We are going to invoke the blessings of Lord Shiva and invite him to join us for the puja. At the end of the mantra, you will offer the flowers at the feet of Narayan Bhagavan. Meditate on Lord Shiva. Hari Om Vande Devam Umam Patim Suruguru Vande Jagat Karanam Vande Panaga Brushanam Mrugadaram Vande Pashunam Patim Vande Surya Samsakavahananayanam Vande Mukundam Priyam Vande Bhakta Janashayam Chavaradam Vande Shivam Shankaram. Hari Om Namami Shankar Bhavani Shankar Har Har Shankar Tava Charanam. Iti mantra pushpanjali charana kamale samarpayami. Both Yajman take flowers again in your hand. we are going to invoke the blessings of Mahakali, Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati. At the end of the mantra, offer the flowers at the feet of Narayan Bhagwan. Hari Om Durge Smrita Rasimiti Vitesha Janto Swaste Smita Mati Mati Vasubhama Dadasim Daridra Dukha Bhayaharini Katvajanya Sarvopakar Karuna Sada Drachittam Mahakali Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Namo Namam Iti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamale Samarpayami. Both Yajman, take flowers again in your hand. Pay our respects to all the gurus, all our spiritual masters. Hari Om Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaram, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namo Namah. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namo Namah. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namo Namah. Iti mantra pushpanjali charana kamale samarpayami. Iti sarva devata pujanam sampurnama. That completes the invitation and invocation to all the presiding deities to come and join us in this Satya Narayan puja. We will have a short break of about 10 minutes. You can just stretch your legs while the bhajan mandal will render bhajans. You can stand up, stretch your legs a little bit. If anybody, washrooms, restrooms are on top or on the bottom level. We come back and then we will resume with the Satya Narayan Katha. Stretch your legs a little bit. Kantibai, jara uba thao jara. Chalo, sharu karo. Jai Siya Ram. Ansu, check the water. Huh? Water. You know why? Because we need for Aarti. And the flowers, that's all. Yeah. Just, whether it's half or something, just fill it up. Chalo. Hello. Jack. I said 9:30, be seated. Waiting for me. Sound check. Everybody put your mic on first.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello.
Maitri.
Hello.
Just see the agarbatis and just light agarbatis for all the yajmans, please. Thank you. Agarbati is in the side of the bhajate. Ishwarlal, you can wake up and stretch your legs.
Hello.
Any Narayan, do any.
Hello.
Any,
Hello.
do the mantra. Do the mantra.
Hello.
Do the mantra.
Hello.
Okay.
Saraswati mantra,
Hello,
Ganapati mantra.
hello,
and start,
hello.
yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Ready.
Om. Om. Saraswati Ma Apani कृपा चाहो दिन रात जिह्वा परवस जो सदा दीन दयाड़ी मात वैती मुख जो मुझ थकी जन सेवा निवाज श्री राम भक्त थई हूँ तजो દુનિયાની પંચાત.
બોલો સરસ્વતી માત કી જય.
વક્રતુંડ મહાકાય સૂર્યકોટિ સમપ્રભ નિર્વિઘ્नं કુરુ મે દેવ શુભ કાર્યેષુ સર્વદા.
બોલો ગણપતિ ગજાનન કી જય.
Hello. 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 Okay.
सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
સીતારામ ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
ओ सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
સીતારામ ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
राधे गोपाल राधे गोपाल.
રાધે ગોપાલ રાધે
ओ
ગોપાલ.
सीता राम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
दीनानाथ गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा.
ગણેશ શરણમ
गणेश
ગણેશા.
गणपति दादा मोरिया.
ગણપતિ બાપા મોરિયા.
सीता राम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
સીતારામ
गोविंद राधे
ગોપાલ.
दुर्गा माता सरस्वती.
દુર્ગા માતા સરસ્વતી.
लक्ष्मी माता पार्वती.
લક્ષ્મી માતા પાર્વતી.
ओ सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
दीनानाथ
ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
भजो सीताराम भजो सीताराम.
ભજો સીતારામ
भजो सीताराम.
सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
दीनानाथ
ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
जय 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 बजरंग बली.
જય 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 બજરંગ બલી.
पवन पुत्र हनुमान की.
પવન પુત્ર હનુમાન જી.
ओ सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
સીતારામ ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
राम कृष्ण हरि गोपाल कृष्ण हरि.
राम कृष्ण हरि गोपाल कृष्ण हरि.
कान्हा कृष्ण मुरली बजावे.
રાધા કૃષ્ણ મુરલી બજા.
सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
સીતારામ ગોવિંદ રાધે ગોપાલ.
नारायण बोलो सत्य नारायण बोलो.
नारायण बोलो हरि नारायण बोलो.
स्वामी नारायण सत्य नारायण.
स्वामी
નારાયણ સત્યનારાયણ.
ओ सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल.
दीनानाथ
गोविंद राधे गोपाल
जय जीव शंकर नमामि शंकर
जय जय शिव
शंकर नमामि शंकर
बम बम भोला डमरू बजावे
बम बम भोला
डमरू बजावे
राम गोविंद राधे गोपाल
राम गोविंद राधे गोपाल
ओ सीताराम गोविंद राधे गोपाल
दीनानाथ गोविंद राधे
गोपाल
कन्हैया लाल की जय।
बोलो सत्य नारायण भगवान की
सत्यनारायण
नारायण 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 हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
ओम नारायण हरि नारायण श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
हरि नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
श्रीमन नारायण 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 श्रीमन
नारायण नारायण नारायण
श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण
भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
भजमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण हरि नारायण हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
नारायण नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण नारायण
सत्य नारायण सत्य नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
बद्री नारायण नारायण नारायण
बद्री नारायण नारायण नारायण
बद्री नारायण नारायण नारायण
Bhadri Narayana Narayana Narayana
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
Japo Narayana Narayana
नारायण श्रीमन नारायण श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Narayana
नारायण नारायण श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Narayana Narayana
श्रीमन नारायण नारायण नारायण
Narayana Narayana Narayana
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
Lakshmi Narayana Narayana Narayana
बद्री नारायण नारायण नारायण
Bhadri Narayana Narayana Narayana
लंबो नारायण नारायण नारायण
Japo Narayana Narayana Narayana
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
Japo Narayana Narayana Narayana
जपो नारायण नारायण नारायण
Japo Narayana Narayana
सत्य नारायण
Bhagavan ki jai.
The person that is sitting next to you, are they here? Thank you. Thank you. Sometimes we have to look for the Yajmans. I don't know where they're going. बोलो श्री सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय. हरि ओम पुस्तक पूजनम. ईश्वरभाई कंकु चांदलो चोका. Bring the tray. हरि ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धस्वाहा स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदा स्वस्ति नस्ताक्षयो अरिष्टनेमिं स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु. Flowers. हरि ओम सुमूल्यादीनि सुगंधीनि मालित्यादीनि वे प्रभो मया ऋतानि पूजार्थ पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृह्यताम. कंकु फूल चौका से पुस्तक पूजा. Ishwarbai and Madhuben have been appointed to be the main Yajmans and they're representing all of us. Kanku full choka, Kanku chandlo. Bring the leave that here. Bring the tray and come. Hari Om Pustaka Punjanam. Pay our respects to Vidya, Mother, Knowledge. Hari Om Swasti na Indro Riddha Swam Swasti na Pusha Visvaveda Swasti nastakshayo aritanemim Swasti no brihaspatiradadatu. Hari Om Sumulyadini Sugandhini Malatyadini Ve Prabho Mayaritani Pujartha Pushpani Pratigretam Pushpani Pratigretam. Hari Om Mantra Pushpanjali Pustaka Pujanam Sampurnam. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget the song. बोलो श्री सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय. This tulsi patra in your green tray, one yajman offer the tulsi patra to the soji prasad that is on your budget after the mantra. No. Put the tulsi into the soji prasad. Hold the tulsi in your hand. Meditate on Tulsi Mata and invoke her blessings. Hari Om Tulsi Hema Rupam Cha Manjarim Bhava Moksha Pradatubhyam Hari Priyamim Hari Om Tulsi Saki Sube Papaharinim Punyadem Namaste Naradanute Narayana Manapriyam Hari Om Tulsi Pujanam Samarpayami. All Yajman take flowers in your hand. Invoke the blessings of Satyanarayan Bhagwan. At the end of the mantra, offer those flowers at the feet of Narayan Bhagwan. Hari Om Satyanarayana Devam Vandeham Kamadam Prabhum Leelaya Vittatam Vishwam Tena Tasme Namo Namam. Hari Om Satyanarayan Devtabhyo Namo Namamiti Mantra Pushpanjali Charana Kamale Samarpayami. We commence with the Satyanarayan Katha. We will all take flowers in our hand and hold those flowers. At the end of the mantra, we will offer the flowers at the feet of Narayan Bhagwan. Okay. Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. Wonderful solution that Bhagwan Narayan has given to us in this age of Kali Yuga. Can be done in many, many different ways. For our purposes, we will read the mantras in Sanskrit, translate it in English, be followed by a 3-minute dun, then we commence with the next chapter. Bolo Shri Satyanarayan Bhagwan ki jai. Hari Om Adhyay Prathamom Vrat Vidyam Vyasa Muni Uvacha. Hari Om Ekadane Misharanye Rushaya Sonakadayam Prayaschuntanama Sarve Sutam Puranim Kalum Rushi Uvacha. Vratenam tamasam kim praptaye vanchitam phalam tat sarvam srotimichamam katayasva mahamunim naradanaivam santrushto bhagavan kamalapatim surusharye yatevaham tat shudvam samahitam. Hari Om ekada narado yogi purananugraham kakshayam paryartana vividyanam Lokanam Ratya Lokmupagatam Tato Dashtva Janan Sarvam Nana Kale Samanvitam Nana Yoni Sanpannam Kalasyamana Swakarmabhim Keno Payena Chetesham Dukkanaso Bhavedruvam Iti Sanchitya Manasa Vishnu Lokam Gatastadam Tatra Narayanam Devam Shukalavarna Chaturbhujam Shankha Chakra Gada Padmam Vanamala Vibhushitam. Hari Om Drashtavam Tam Deva Devesham Stotum Samupankrame Namo Vama Satitam Rupayanantat Shaktaye Adi Madhyaham Tahinaya Nirgunaya Gunatmane Sarvadhamadi Bhutaya Bhakta Namam Minashine. Hari Om Shrutvam Stotram Tator Vishnu Naradam Pratyabhashatam Kimartha Mangato Asintvam Kim Te Manasi Vartate Katha yasva mahabhaga tatsarva katayami te. Hari Om mrityu loke janam sarve nana kalesha samanvitam nana yoni samutpanna pachyante papakarma bhim tata katam shamyenatham lagupayena tatsvradam tatsarvam shrotumichami krupasti yadite mahi. Sri Bhagavan uvacha Sadhu pushtam tvaya vatsa lokanugraham kankshaya yat kritva machyate mohat trashunudvam vadami te vratam asti mahat punyam swarge mratye cha durlabham tvam snehabhya vatsa prakasham kriyate dunam Satya Narayana swayam vratam samagru dividanam kritvam sakja sukham bhuktvam yatra mokhapanuyatam tatchutvam bhagwan vakyam narado muni bravat kim phalam kim vidyanam cha krutam keneva tadvratam tatsvam vistaradam bruhi karyahi tadvratam duko shoka adishmanam dhana dhanya pravardhanam sobhagyam santatikaram sarvatra vijaya pradam yasmin kasmin debaktam bhakti shraddha samanvitam satya narayanam devam yajeyam cheva nishamuke brahmane bandhavas chevascha savito dharma tatparam Naivedyam bhaktito dadyat sampadam bhakti sanyutam ramba phalam dritam shiram godumasyam cha churnakam abhave shali churnam cha sharkara cha gudam tatham sampadam sarva bhakshyadi choka kritya nivedyatam viprayam dakshina datkatham shrutva jane saham Tatascham bandhubi sarga tirpasam pratibhojayet prasadam pakshaya vaktayam nritya gitadikam charet tatascha swagruham gachet satya narayanam smaran evam krute manushyanam vancha siddhir bhaver dhruvam visheshata kali yuge Lagu payet asmina bhutale iti si skanda purane reva khande si Satyanarayan kathayam prathamodhyaya sampurnam. Bolo si Satyanarayan Bhagavan ki jai. In chapter 1 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, Vyas Muni Uvacha. There is a place called Naimi Sharanya, just about 100 k's out of Ayodhya. Naimi Sharanya came about with thousands of rishis, Saunak Adi rishis, wanted to establish an ashram. And they were looking for a convenient place where it would be agreeable for them to establish the ashram. So they go to Brahmaji. Brahmaji goes to Vishnu Bhagwan. And together they all approach Bhagwan Shiv and ask Bhagwan Shiv to find a place that would be convenient for them to establish this ashram. Bhagwan Shiv instructs his Trishul to go around the universe and find a place where the rishis can establish the ashram. The Trishul goes around the entire universe and lands in Naimisharanya. Why Naimisharanya? Naimisharanya was appropriate because it had rivers, streams, forests, greeneries, trees, where the rishis could establish the ashram, mountains. The atmosphere must be conducive for them to meditate. Once the established ashram was ready, Sonak Adi continues to do propagation of Dharma. Along comes Sudji, one of the greatest exponents and the scholars of our Vedas. The rishis accord him the respect of an elder statesman, a Brahman, a guru. They garland him, put a dot on him, and they make him sit on an asan higher than the rishis. And they ask him this question: what is it that one needs to do that will alleviate the challenges and the difficulties that they are facing in this age of Kali Yuga? Sudji was very impressed with the question, and he goes on to narrate a dialogue that takes place between Bhagwan Sri Krishna and Naradji. Naradji is immortal. He is present amongst us at all times, even at this very moment. Naradji comes down and he sees that people are struggling with various difficulties, challenges. Now we've got more challenges. Floods, COVID, violence, crime, natural disasters, wars, economic disasters. We name it, we are all experiencing. Let us not for one moment think that anything that happens outside of our circle does not affect us. It affects us. The war in Ukraine is an ideal example. Suddenly, there were no groceries, there was no oil. Suddenly, the price of petrol is still going to go up. These are the challenges that man is facing in this age of Kali Yuga. And he sees this. See, he goes back to Vishnu Lok, goes to see Bhagwan Sri Narayan, Chaturbhuj, frame in the back there, 4 hands, Shankar, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And he asked Bhagwan Sri Krishna, I came from downstairs and I see the people are suffering from various calamities, disasters. Is there something that they can do that will alleviate the problem? Bhagwan Krishna himself was equally impressed with that question. And he goes on to narrate the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. Now we all know Narayanji. Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. He'll come there by Shan and say, Shan, you know what? Something. And he'll then go by Tisha and say, Tisha, something. That is Naradji. His character was such that he would create a problem so Bhagwan can come there to find the solution. Naradji asked Bhagwan Sri Narayan 1,000 questions in 10 seconds. What is this katha? Who must do this katha? When this katha must be done? How this katha must be done? Who did this katha? And Bhagwan Krishna says, the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha has got no prescription. It can be done any time, morning, afternoon, evening. Bhagwan Narayan knows that man will experience challenges in obtaining certain puja items, ingredients, because of the situation that they are faced in. And he even offers a solution in the katha that if you haven't got flour, use rice flour. If you haven't got sugar, use gur. He offered solution and substitutes to enable man to continue to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. Why is this katha so important? What are the benefits of the katha? And Bhagwan Sri Krishna says, anybody living in fear will have the fear eradicated. One that is poor will attain wealth. Man vanchit phal prapti artham. Whatever wishes, desires, Bhagwan Sri Narayan will fulfill them. One who wants to get married, Bhagwan Narayan will fulfill those wishes. One who wants to attain material wealth, yes, he will fulfill that also. All benefits, Bhagwan Sri Narayan will fulfill. That, in essence, is chapter 1 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. બોલો શ્રી સત્યનારાયણ ભગવાન કી જય. ચલો.
જય જય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
જય જય નારાયણ
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 સ્વામી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સ્વામી નારાયણ
નારાયણ નારાયણ
સૂર્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સૂર્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
બદ્રી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
બદ્રી નારાયણ
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 જય જય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
જય જય નારાયણ નારાયણ.
જય જય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
જય જય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સ્વામી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સ્વામી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સૂર્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સૂર્ય
નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
બદ્રી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
બદ્રી નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
પજમન નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
ભજમન
નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સત્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સત્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સત્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ
સત્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ.
સત્ય નારાયણ નારાયણ નારાયણ. હરિઓમ.
સ્વામિનારાયણ
ભગવાન કી જય.
Nirmal must come on top here.
Yeah, please.
Can't hear you.
We can't sit behind me. Sitting right behind me.
Hari Om Madhyaya Bijam. All Yajman take flowers in the hand. Chapter 2. Hari Om Sutavacha Athanyatya Sampravakshyami Kritam Yena Purasit Dvijam Kaschit Kashi Pure Ramya Yasita Vridro Nidardanam. Hari Om Atubhyabhya Vyakulo Bhutvam Nityam Brahmanam Bhutelam Dukhitam Brahmanam Drashtavam Bhagwan Brahmana Priyam Vriddha Brahmana Rupastam Prapacham Dvijamadarat Kitharma Brahmase Vigra Mahi Nityam Sudukita Tat Sarva Shrotumichami Kathantyam Dijasattamam. Brahmano Acha Brahmano Ati Daridroham Bhikshartave Prabho Mahim Upayam Yadi Janasi Kripaya Katayam Prabho. Satya Narayano Vishnu Vanchitartha Falapradam Tasyam Tvam Pujanam Vipram Kurupvam Vrata Uttamam Yat Kritva Sarvadukebhyo Mukto Bhavati Manavam Vidyanam Cha Vritasyapi Vipra Bhashayam Yatantaham. Satya Narayano vriddastale vantar adita yoginam tatam vrattam shankarishyami yadu katam brahmane ve iti sanchitya viprotaso ratro nindra labdavanam tatha prata samuttaya satya narayana vratam karishya iti sankalpya bhikshartha amagam dvijam tasminaneva dine vidya prabhuram dravya bhagavam tenevam baddhumi sarga satya yasya vratamataram sarva dukha vinirmukta sarva sampat samanvitam babhuva swadvija shreshto vratasyasya pradavatam tata prabhuti kalecha masi masi vrata kritam evam narayanam devam vrata kritva dvijottamam sarva papa vinirmukto dullabham moksha mabhavat vratam asya yada vishvam prithviyam sancharishyati tadevam sarva dukam cha manujasya vinashyati evam narayana yoktam naradaya mahatmane maya tat katitam vipram kim yatam kathayami vam tasmadi dvam chutam kenam prithviyam charitam mune taham sarva shrotumichamam shraddhasmakam prajayate shrunudvam munayam sarve vratam tenam krutam bhuvi ekada saddhi jo yesto yagya vibhu vistare bandhu be swajenam sargam vratam kartu samudyatam etasmin antare kalem kaste keta samagatam bahu katam cha samstapyam viprasyam grihnamayo trishnayam piditatmam cham drashtava vipram krutam bhavam pranipatyam dvijam praham kimidam kriyate tvayam kritam ki phalavapnoti vistarad me prabho satya narayana vedam briha sarveta sampradam tasya prasadan me sarva dhana dhanya adikam hari om tasmatem vratam snaktvam kaste katha nitishchata payo jalam prasadam cha bhuktavase nagarayayo satya narayanam devam manasa ucci itvatem kamadam viktato grame prapyate gamadandanam tejenam satya devasya karishye vrata uttamam iti sanchitya manasam kashta dhrutva tu mastake jagamam nagare ramye dhaninam chatra chittitim taim kalamulyam cha drigunam prabhadavaso tatha prasan adayam supakvam kadali phalam sharkara dhrutum cha chevam godumasya chuchurkanam kritve katra spadam cha grihitvam sa gruham yayo tato bandhunam samahuyam chakaram vidinam vratam tata vratasyam brahmana venam dana putrani bobhavat iham loke shukam bhuktvam chantam satya puram yayo iti siskanda purane reva khande si satya narayan kathayam dvitiyo adhyaya sampurnam bolo si satya narayan bhagavan ki jai. In chapter 2, Naradji asked Bhagavan Krishna who was the first person that did the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And Bhagavan Krishna replies that once there was a very poor Brahman. In the hierarchy of our order, Bhagavan sits on top and immediately followed by the Bhagavan are the Brahmins. That is the respect that is accorded to all our gurus, our masters, and our Brahmins. Bhagavan saw this poor Brahmin and he assumed the form of an elder statesman, an elder Brahmin, and he approaches him and he asks him, why are you struggling? And this poor Brahmin says, I go around house to house begging, and yet it is difficult for me to meet the needs of my family. Is there something that I can do that will help me to look after my family and also promote and propagate the Dharma? Bhagavan Sri Krishna explains the Vrat Vidhi of Satya Narayan Katha. And he explains the benefits of the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. The Brahman was equally happy. That evening he couldn't sleep. Took an undertaking that I will do the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. Early morning, he goes around begging and he accumulates enough wealth, comes back home, gathers his family around, does the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. And it didn't stop there. Within a short space of time, this Brahman becomes wealthy to the benefit of Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. And he continued to do the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha on every Purnima day until he attained liberation. Chapter 2 teaches us a wonderful lesson. We accumulate all the wealth in the world through the grace of God. And the first person we forget is God. Bhagavad teaches us that every step, every instance in our life, we bow our head down in prayer and show our appreciation to Bhagavan. Because it is through His grace, one, we are here. It is through His grace that we've got necessary wealth, the family that we deserve. And it is through His grace that we also experience the difficulties and challenges. It's a constant reminder not to forget Him. At this very moment, everybody is praying, when can I have water in my house? When can I have power in my house? At this very moment, the entire country is struggling through these natural disasters and the problem that they are experiencing. And who do we turn to? Bhagavan. One day, whilst the Brahman was doing the puja, there was a woodcutter who saw this huge crowd seated at the entrance of the Brahman's house. He offloads his wood, and at the end of the katha, he approaches the Brahman and he says, Sir, what have you done? And the Brahman replies that I have done the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha and the puja, vidhi, the benefits, manner in which the katha must be done, the way we have done it this morning. And the woodcutter says, yes, I go around selling wood from village to village, and unfortunately I still cannot make ends meet. I will do the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. The very next morning, once he's taken the undertaking, Bhagavan is listening. The very next day, he goes there to sell his wood, and he gets double the value, like normal. And he comes back home, gathers his family, and does the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. And also, like the poor Brahman, he also was in a position now to look after his family. And again, like the Brahman, it didn't stop there. On the beginning of each month, the woodcutter also continued to do the Vrat Katha in appreciation to Bhagavan, to say thank you for giving me my needs. And he too, at the end of his lifespan, attained liberation, moksha. That, in essence, is chapter 2 of the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. Bolo Shri Satya Narayan Bhagavan ki jai.
भगवान
की
सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय।
Time.
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
हरि नारायण 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 हरि
नारायण नारायण नारायण
हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
हरि नारायण नारायण नारायण
सत्यनारायण सत्यनारायण
सत्यनारायण सत्यनारायण
सत्यनारायण सत्यनारायण
सत्यनारायण सत्यनारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
ब्रह्म नारायण विष्णु नारायण
ब्रह्म नारायण विष्णु नारायण
ब्रह्म नारायण विष्णु नारायण
ब्रह्म नारायण विष्णु नारायण
शिव नारायण नारायण नारायण
शिव नारायण नारायण नारायण
शिव नारायण नारायण नारायण
शिव नारायण नारायण नारायण
चंडा नारायण सूर्य नारायण
चंदा नारायण सूर्य नारायण
चंडा नारायण सूर्य नारायण
चंदा नारायण सूर्य नारायण
तारे नारायण नारायण नारायण
तारे नारायण नारायण नारायण
तारे नारायण नारायण नारायण
तारे नारायण नारायण नारायण
माता नारायण पिता नारायण
माता नारायण पिता नारायण
माता नारायण पिता नारायण
माता नारायण पिता नारायण
गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण
गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण
गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण
गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण भजमन नारायण
श्रीमन्नारायण सत्यनारायण
सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण
सत्यनारायण नारायण
सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण
सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण
सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय।
हरि ओम अध्याय त्रिजम. Everybody take flowers in the hand. हरि ओम साधुवान्यां कथायाम श्रुतवाच हरि ओम पुनरग्रे प्रवक्ष्यामि शृणुध्वं मुनिसत्तमां पुरा चोर्कामुखे नाम नूपे स्वासी महीपते जितेन्द्रियं सत्यवादी ययो देवालयं प्रतिम दिने दिने धनं दत्त्वा द्विजानं सन्तोपयं सुधीं भार्या तस्य प्रमुक्तां च सरोजवदनां सतो भद्रशीला नदीतीरे सत्ययस्य व्रतमाचरत् एतम् अस्मिन्तरे व्रतं साधुरेकशतागतं वाणिर्जाताय बहुधनेर ते के परिपूरति नायं संस्थाप्यं तत्तीरे जगां नृपतिं प्रतिम् इष्ट्वा सव्रतिनं भूयं प्रपच्छ विनयान्वतिम् किमिदं कुरुषे राजन् भक्तियुक्तेन चेतसं प्रकाशं कुरुणुं तत्सर्वं श्रोतुमिच्छामि समागतं पूजनं क्रियते साधो विष्णुर्तुलोजेतसं व्रतं चं स्वजेव साध्यं पुत्राधामां निकाम्ययाम् भूपस्य वचनं श्रुत्वा साधु प्रवोया सादरं सर्वकथयं मे राजन् करिष्येऽहं ततोदितं ममापीं सन्तति नास्ति श्वेततं जायते ध्रुवं ततो निवृत्तं वाणिमृक्तां स आनन्दो गृमतां समम् भार्यायै कथितं सर्वव्रतसन्ततिदायकं तथा व्रतं करिष्यामि यदा मे सन्तति भवत् इति लीलावती प्राहं पत्नी सायुष सत्तमम् एकस्मिन् दिवसे तस्य भार्या लीलावती सतीं भक्तो युक्ता अनन्चित्तां ब्रवत् धर्मपरायणां गर्भणी साधभवत् तस्य भार्या सत्यप्रसादत दस्मे मासी वै तस्यां कन्या रत्नमजायत दिने दिने च वर्जुते शुक्लपक्षे ययात्यशीं यत्ना कलावती यति तन्मतारणं कृतं तथा लीलावती प्राहं स्वामिनं मधुरं वचम् न करोषि कीर्तनं वे पुरां सङ्कतितेरुत्तमं विवाहं समये तस्या करिष्यामि व्रतं प्रिये इति भार्या समाश्वास्य जगामं नगरं प्रति ततः कलावती कन्या व्रवृद्धे पितृवोमतिं दृष्ट्वां कन्या ततं सत्यं नगरे सखिभिः सह मन्त्रविद्यादुदं दत्तं प्रेषयामास धर्मवितं विवाहार्थं च कन्यायम् इहं श्रेष्ठं विचारयं ते वां सप्तं दुतो अस्मिन् कोचनं नगरं ययो तस्मादेकं वणिक्पुत्रं समदायतो बलिः स दृष्ट्वा तुं सुन्दरं बालं वणिक्पुत्रगुणान्वितं ज्ञाने वित्तुं वत्वामिं सार्गपरित्येतसं दत्तवान् साधुराम्भूयं कन्या तस्मै विद्याततं ततेऽहं कवनं शातं तेनं विस्मृतं व्रत उत्तमं विवाहसमये तस्वानें प्रस्थो भवतहिं प्रभुं तत दानेनं नियतो निजकर्मो विशारदं वाणिज्यार्थाय ततां शीघ्रं जामात्रं सोतं वणिक् रत्नापुरे नगरी रम्यां चत्वा सिन्धु समीपत वाणिक धर्मातुटुं जुत्वां श्रीमन्तां तढं सह तों गत्वा नगरे रम्यं चन्द्रकेतोऽनुप्रस्यचे एतस्मिन्नेव काले तु सत्यनारायण प्रभुं भष्टमिष्टां लोकस्य श्रापं तस्मै प्रदत्तवान् दारुण कठिनं यास्वं महादुःखं भरिष्यति एकस्मिन् दिवसे राज्ञो धनमादाय तस्करं तथैवम् आगवतं तस्वेरं वणिको पुत्र संस्थितं तत्र यादभावं तु तं दृष्ट्वा भीतेन चेतसां धनं संस्थाप्यं तनेवं स तु शीलममृताम् ततो दुःखो समायातं यस्त्र ते सज्जनो वणिक् इष्ट्वानुपातं तेषं बद्ध्वाति फलीफ्रुतिं हर्षेणं धाननाशायम् उपनरूपं समीपत तस्करोऽसि समानीतें विलोकनापायं प्रभो सद्या भात्रां तं शीघ्रं दद्रं बहयातु नाबुभुं नालिको तं महादुर्गे काञ्चाघारे विचारतः मामयां सत्यदेवस्य श्रुतं केस्य चुवोचदम् अतस्त योमनं राक्तां गृहीतं चन्द्रकेतुनां तस्य नामां तत्क्रेहं भार्या एतं ति दुःखेन तां योरे पालनं सर्वगृहे यस्य सिद्धं दत्तमम् आर्यं मां नुक्तां श्रुति प्रसादति दुभुताम् अनविचारं तं भूत्वा बभ्रामं तं गृहे गृहे कलावती तु कन्यापि बभ्राणं प्रतिवारकम् एकस्मिन् दिवसे तां पृक्तार्थं द्विजमिन्दरम् अथायं पटं व्रतं तत्त्वसत्यनारायणस्य च उति विषयं कथा भृत्वा यगं प्रतीनं तं मतिं यस्य ब्राह्मणं कृत्वा यत्रो यत्रे गृहं पतिं माता कलावतीं कल्यां कथायामास प्रेमतं पुत्री रात्रि स्थितां कृं ते मनसि वर्तते कन्या कलावती प्रायं माता प्रतीतावरं द्विज स्वहे व्रतं मातरं दृष्टा वाञ्छितसिद्धिदं तच्छुत्वा कन्यावाक्यं व्रतं कर्तुं समुद्यतां स तत्यातु वणिक् भार्यां सत्यनारायणश्च च व्रतं चक्रे सेवसान्धि बन्धुमि स्वजनं सहं भर्तु जमानारीं शीघ्रम् आच्यतां स्वमुमम् अथ यस्य चे भक्तुर्नामान्ति सन्तुमं धसीं व्रते नानं तटु अस्मै सत्यनारायण प्रभुं दर्शयामात स्वानां हिं चन्द्रकेतुनुपोत्तमं बन्दिनं वोऽहं प्रातरं वणिको नृपसत्तमं देवं द्वनं त्वां सत्सर्व गृहीतं यत् यामुनां श्रुतेवं तन्वनामिष्यामि सराजपन उत्तकम् हरि ओं एतस्यं सञ्चेनं ध्यानमागृह्ण तं प्रभं ततः प्रभावं यने राजा स्वसजेनं सहं भूमिम् उपीविष्यं समाराम्ये प्राहं स्वप्नं जनं प्रति अहिं महाजनी दिग्वे मोक्षयदीश्वलिं स्तुतिम् इति राज्ये वृताद्रुण्यां मोचयित्वा महाजनो समानित्यं नृत्ययामिं प्राहुस्ते विनजत्विताम् अतुलोहं लोकवित्पुत्री मुक्ते निवाप्ततं नदान् ततो महाजनो नावां चन्द्रकेतु न उत्तमं स्वजनं पूर्ववृत्तातं नोचुतं बिम्बमं फलो राजा वृष्टिकर्तो विषयं यचा प्रोवाच उच्चमम् देवपामां महादुःखो मिन्दानीं नास्ति मे ब्रवं तथा निस्मं तन्मनागं लोकमित्तां तु तारदं विशारां दारकं दत्त्वा परियोग नृपयं हो Puraskritya Valik Putro Vasadham Pavaram Bruvam Purati Tam Yatratram Diduram Shuktayam Dattavan Provat Dagne Tato Raja Kacha Sarvani Jalabam Rajanam Prahinam Katavyam Tagaradatam Iti Siskanda Purane Reva Kande Sri Narayan Kathayam Tritiyo Adhyaya Sampurnama Bolo Sri
Narayan
Narayan
Bhagavan ki
Jai. In chapter 3 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, Sutavacha is narrating the stories to the thousands of rishis that are gathered there in Naimisharanya. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna is also narrating this dialogue to Naradji in Vishnu Lok. There was a king called Cholkamu, very pious, very religious, and he used to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha at the river bank daily. And because of that, his entire kingdom was prosperous, happy, content, rains, grains. The people were happy. One day, whilst doing the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, there was a businessman that was passing by, and he saw this Katha taking place. At the end of the Katha, he approaches the king and he asks him, "What have you done?" And the king explains that I have just conducted the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, and because of that, I am enjoying the fruits and the benefits of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. My kingdom is content, happy, I've got enough grains, enough rain. And the businessman says, "Yes, I also want to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha because I do not have any children." He comes back home and he tells his wife that we will do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. The businessman's wife is also extremely pious, extremely religious. And this undertaking is done that we will do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. After a short while, the wife falls pregnant through the grace of Bhagavan Sri Narayan. And at the time of birth, when the baby is born, a beautiful daughter is born, the wife reminds the husband, the businessman, that we need to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And the businessman replies that we will do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha when the daughter is of a marriageable age. And he goes off to conduct his business. Within a short space of time, the young girl grows up into a beautiful young woman, and the businessman sees that and immediately sends out his messengers to find a suitable Brahman boy, and the wedding takes place. And even at that point in time, the businessman did not do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. We in our lives take vows, make a lot of undertakings, and we have to complete it, irrespective of what the circumstances are, because we don't want anything to sit on our head. He goes off to do his business, and he comes near the kingdom of Chandraketu Raja. And at that kingdom, a robbery takes place. And the robbers takes all the stolen goods and they run off with the soldiers behind them. When they see this, they offload all the stolen goods where the businessman and the son-in-law were staying, and they run off. So when the soldiers come, they see all the stolen goods, and they assume that this businessman and the son-in-law has stolen anything. Without asking any question, tie them up, bring them in front of the king, and even the king too, without questioning them, immediately instructs them to be locked up. And on the other side, wife and daughter are experiencing severe difficulties. they lose everything at home. One day, mother and daughter go around begging. Daughter goes to the house of a Brahman where puja was taking place, and she sits there. At the end of the puja, she has the prasad, drinks the water, approaches the Brahman, obtains his blessing, and asks him, "What have you done?" And the Brahman explained the vidhi of the Satya Vrat Katha and the benefit that he has enjoyed. She comes back home quite late. And at that point in time, the mother scolds her, "Why have you come home so late?" And she replies that I went to this place where the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha was taking place, and immediately the mother realizes that they are experiencing these difficulties because we have not completed the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And the very next day, mother and daughter go around begging, accumulate enough wealth, it gathers the family around, does the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, and Bhagwan Sri Narayan is easily satisfied. He is merciful, and he answers their prayers. He goes into the dream of Chandraketu Raja, and he instructs the king to release both the businessman and the son-in-law. And the very next day, in the assembly, gathers them, clothe them, clean them up, reinstate the wealth, and on top of that, give them some of his wealth, and he sends them off home, saying that it is through some karma or the other that you have been locked up here. Now you can go back home safely. So that, in essence, is chapter 3 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha.
जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
स्वामी नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
स्वामी नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि
तेरी लीला सबसे न्यारी न्यारी हरि हरि
तेरी महिमा प्रभु है प्यारी प्यारी हरि हरि
तेरी महिमा प्रभु है प्यारी प्यारी हरि हरि
जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
अलख निरंजन भव भय भंजन जन्म निरंजन दाता
जन्म निरंजन दाता
हमें शरण दे अपने चरण में हर निर्भय कर जाता
करो निर्भय जगदाता तूने लाखों की नैया तारी तारी
हरि हरि
जय जय नारायण
नारायण हरि हरि स्वामी नारायण
नारायण हरि हरि
ओम नमो नारायण
ओम नमो नारायण बोले
ओम नमो नारायण हरि ओम नमो नारायण
हरि
ओम नमो नारायण
नारायण
जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि हरि
ओ जय जय नारायण नारायण हरि जय जय नारायण हरि हरि
जय नारायण
हरि हरि
सूर्य नारायण
हरि हरि
नमो नारायण
हरि हरि जय जय नारायण नारायण
हरि हरि
जय जय
नारायण नारायण हरि हरि નારાયણ
નારાયણ હરિ હરિ
જય નારાયણ શ્રી લક્ષ્મીનારાયણ ભગવાન
કી જય.
અધ્યાય ચતુર્થમ. All Yajman take flowers in the hand. Fourth chapter. Hari Om Sadhuvanya Kathayam Sutavacha Narayana Swarupaya Namo Namah. Hari Om Yatram Trunkritvam Sadhuram Mangalacharam Purvikamam Brahmanebhyo Dhanam Dattva Tadatu Nagaram Yayom Kiyadure Gate Sadhyo Satya Narayana Prabhum Jignasa Krutavana Sadho Kimasti Tvamanostitamam Tato Mahajano Matto Helayacha Prahasyavem Katam Pruchasi Bodandin Mrudra Netu Kimmachasi. Hari Om Lata Patradikam Cheva Vartate Taranam Mama Nishturam cha vracham shrutvam satyam bhavatu me vacha evam muktvam gatam shigram danditasya samipata kiyad dure tato gatvam stitam sindhu samipata kate dandini sadhuscha kruta nitya kriyastadam uttitam taranim ishtvam visamyam paramam yayo dastvalatadikam chaiva Muchitonam yat padam bhuvi labdam sangyo vanik putram sattatis chittanoho bhavat tadam tu duhitu kanto vachanam chedram abravit kimartha krimate shokam shapo datascha dandinam shakyate tenam sarvam him kartu chatranam samshayam atastam charanam yamo Vanchitato bhavishyati Jamartu varchanam shrutvam Tatas kasham gatastadam Drashtavam cham dandinam bhaktyam Natva provacha sadaram Shamakshvam chaparadhyam me Yadakatam tvam sannido Evam punaha punarnatva Mahashoka kulo bhavat Provacha vachanam dandi Vile patam vilokya cha ma rodi shrunu madam kayam mama puja bahi murkham mama vajnayam durbuddhe labdam dukam muhurmuhum tat shrutva bhagvam vakyam stutim kartu samudyate tvam yama mohitam sarva brahma dastriti vokasaham na Jananti gunan rupam twashamim idam prabho mudorham tvam katam jane mohitatsavam mayayam prasiddham pujayishyami yatha vivi vistarem puram vittam cha tatsarvam dehi mam sharanam gatam shrutva bhakti yutam vakyam Paritushto janardanam varam cha vanchitam dattvam tatre vantadartam harim tato navam samarudyam dashtavavrita paripuritam kripaya satya devasya safalam vanchitam mama itya katva swajnem sarga puja kritva yatha vidim harshenam chabhavat purna Satya deva prasadatam navam sanyojam yatnenam swadesha gamanam krutam sadur jarmam taram praham pashya ratna puri mama dutam cha preshayasasa nija vitasya rakshakam duto som nagaram gatvam साधुर भार्या विलोक्य च प्रोवाच वांछितं वाक्यं नत्वा बन्दाजलिस्तदा निकटे नगरं स्वेयं जामात्रा सहितो वणिक् आगतो बन्धुवर्गश्च वित्तश्च बहुभिर्युक्तं श्रुत्वादुतं मुखावाक्यं महाहर्षवती सती सत्य पूजा ततं कृत्वा पोवाचं तनुजा प्रति व्रजामि शीघ्रम् आगच्छ साधुर्सन्दर्शनाय च इति मातृवच श्रुत्वा व्रतं कृत्वा समाप्य च तेन रुष्टो परित्यज्य गता सापि पतिं प्रति तेनं रुष्ट सत्यदेवो भर्तारं तरणी तथा संयत्य च धने सार्ग जले तस्मिन् जम्चत्यत् व्रतं कलावती कन्या न विलोक्य निजं पतिं शोकेन महया तत्र रुद्रति चापतद्भ्रुवि दृष्ट्वा ततां विद्यां नौकां कन्यां च बहु दुःखितां भीतेन मनसा प्राहं किमाश्चर्यमिदं भवेत् चिन्तया कुलिता सर्वे बभूव वस्त्रीवाहकां ततो लीलावती कन्यां दृष्ट्वा सा विह्वलाभवत् विललापाति दुःखेन भर्तारं चेदमं ब्रवीत् इदानीं नौक्यासार्गं कथं सोदभूलक्षितं न जान्ये कस्य देवस्य हेलया चैव सायतां सत्यदेवस्य महात्म्यं ज्ञातुं वा केन शक्यते इत्यकृत्वा विललापाथ ततश्च स्वजने सह ततो लीलावती कन्या क्रोधे कृत्वा रुरोधहं तथा कलावती कन्या नष्टे स्वामिनी दुःखितां गृहीत्वा पादुका तस्यां नुगतु चो मनो दधे कन्या याश्चितं दष्ट्वा स भार्यां सज्जनो वणिक् अतिशोकेन संतप्ति चिन्तयामास धर्मवितं इहतं वा सत्यदेवेन भ्रातोऽहं सत्यमाययां सत्यपूजां करिष्यामि यथा विभविवस्तरे इति सर्वान् समाहूय कथयित्वा मनोरथं नत्वा चं दण्डवद्भूमौ सत्यदेवं पुनः पुनः ततस्तुष्टं सत्यदेवो दीनानां परिपालकं जगादं वचनं चैव कृपया भक्तवत्सलं त्यक्त्वा प्रसादं ते कन्या पतिं द्रष्टुं समागताम् अतो दृश्यो भवत्तस्यां कन्यकाया प्रतिध्रुवं गृह गत्वा प्रसादं च भुक्त्वा सायाति चेत् पुनः लब्धभर्तृसुता साध्यो भविष्यति न संशय कन्यका तादृशं वाक्यं श्रुत्वा गगनमण्डलान् क्षिप्रमेवं गृहां गत्वा प्रसादं प्रभुजे च सां ततः पश्चात् पुनरागत्य ददर्श च निजं पतिं ततः कलावती तुष्टा जगात् पितरं प्रति इदानीं तु गृहे याहि विलम्बं कुरुषो मे कथं तत् श्रुत्वा कन्यावाक्यं सन्तुष्टो बुधं वणिक्सुतः पूजनं सत्यदेवस्य कृत्वा विधिविधानतं धनेर्बन्धुगणे सार्ग जगां निजमन्दिरं पौर्णमास्यां च संक्रान्तो पूजां कृत्वा यथाविधिम् इह लोके सुखं भुक्त्वा चान्ते सत्यपुरययो इति स्कन्दपुराणे रेवाखण्डे श्री सत्यनारायण कथायां चतुर्थो अध्याय संपूर्णम् बोलो श्री सत्यनारायण भगवान की जय. In chapter 4 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, the continuation of the story of the businessman and the son-in-law. Even though they were released by Chandraketu Raja and was told to make their way home, Bhagwan Narayan was not satisfied. So when the ship was anchored at the shore, Bhagwan Narayan assumed the form of an elder Dandi Brahman. And he approached both the businessman and the son-in-law. And he asked them, "What have you got in your boat?" And the son-in-law replies that, "Why are you asking us this question? Do you want to steal everything that we have? We've got nothing except leaves and twigs." Bhagwan Narayan says, "Whatever you say is true," and he goes away from there. When they finish the puja vidhi and the karma, they suddenly see the boat starting to sink. And all they can see on top is leaves and twigs. And they suddenly realize their mistake. The businessman tells the son-in-law that we are paying for something that we've done wrong. Let us approach the Dandi Brahman who's standing atop there and beg for his forgiveness. And they both run to the Brahman, falls down at his feet, begs for his forgiveness. And Bhagwan Sri Narayan, again being merciful as he is, scolds them. Even though that you have experienced so much of challenges and difficulties, you are still not learning your lesson. And the businessman replies that I am a human being. I make many mistakes. Bhagwan must keep forgiving us for all the mistakes that we make. When are we going to stop making those mistakes? He falls down at the feet and he immediately gathers his friends and family and does the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And he makes his way home. Ship is anchored at home. He sends his messengers home that they have arrived. Mother and daughter are anxiously waiting for the family to come back. The messengers come back there. The businessman and son-in-law have come back, accumulated enough wealth. Mother and daughter are extremely happy. Mother completes the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, has the prasad, and instructs the daughter, "Please complete the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha and then come to the shore to see your husband." In her haste to see her husband, she completes the Katha but does not eat the prasad. And because of that, Satyanarayan Bhagwan gets extremely angry and immediately the boat is sunk into the ocean. And when Kalavati comes there, the daughter, she sees no husband and no boat, and immediately falls down onto the ground. Mother and father suddenly realize that there is something wrong. We have made somebody extremely happy for this, unhappy, angry for this to happen. Kalavati now wants to conduct herself as a sati. In those days, they used to, when the husband dies, they used to burn themselves into the fire. Those practices have now been completely banned throughout the world. When she is about to do that, the voice of the skies, the Akashvani, says to the businessman and to the mother that your daughter has completed the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha but has not eaten the prasad. She needs to go back home, complete the Katha, eat the prasad, and then come back. She goes back home, eats the prasad, drinks the water, come back. And Bhagwan reinstates the boat, husband, and the wealth. And at the seashore, both mother, father, daughter, son-in-law, and the rest of the family does the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And the businessman now learned his lesson and he continued to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha on every Sankranti day. until he also attained liberation. In chapter 4, we learn a lesson about Draupadi. We all know that Draupadi was the wife of the Pandavas. But in a previous birth, Draupadi was a very poor, young Brahmin girl, living with her father, no mother. One day, the father passes on, and she is left all alone, fending for herself. Because she was a Brahmin girl, the villages in and around her continued to look after her. Because it was an ashram, rishis came there to pay a visit. And the rishi told her that she must do the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. And this Brahmin girl tells the rishi, I only believe in Lord Shiva. I do not believe in Bhagwan Sri Narayan. And the rishi says, Tathastu, and goes away from them. Day by day, this young girl continues to meditate on Lord Shiva. Tapasya for many, many years. And Lord Shiva also, Bodhanath. If you want to appease any Bhagwans or any gods, pay your reverence to Lord Shiva. And it is through Lord Shiva that you will attain the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Narayan. Hari Hara. Bhagwan Shankar appears before this young. Ask what boon you want. And in a haste, Vardo, 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 Vardo. She asked for a husband 5 times. Bhagwan Shankar fulfilled her wishes and said, in your next birth, you will have 5 husbands. And in the next birth, she was born as the daughter of Drupad, called Draupadi. And we all know in the Swayamvar, Arjun married Draupadi. And when they come home, Mata Kunti is sitting at home. And they tell Mata Kunti, Ma, see what we have brought. And Mata Kunti, without looking, whatever you bought, please share it amongst the 5. माँ का वचन कभी नहीं तोड़ना. That was mother's instruction. Whatever you brought, you share it amongst the 5. That is how Draupadi got married to the 5 Pandavas. Draupadi was also the best friend of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Like Kalavati, she also endured severe challenges and difficulties in her life. One day, Bhagwan Krishna, who is the best friend of the Pandavas, was playing and he got cut on his finger. You can imagine when Bhagwan gets cuts on his finger, Subhadra, his sister, Rukshmani, his wife, and they're running up and down to see how they can fix this cut, the way blood is coming out. And Draupadi sees this. And immediately she tears the edge of her sari and she wraps a bandage round his finger. What we do for Bhagwan, Bhagwan will never ever forget. Lutili-do, lutili-do, lutili-do re, do re kanaiya tane lutili-do re, lutili-do, બનીને તને દ્રૌપદીએ લૂટ્યો, પુત્ર બનીને તને દ્રૌપદીએ પાટો બાંધીને તને લૂંટી લીધો રે,
પાટો બાંધીને પતે લીધી લીધો રે,
ઓરે કનૈયા તને લૂંટી લીધો રે,
ઓરે
કનૈયા તને લૂંટી લીધો રે.
She tied that bandage around his finger. And Bhagwan kabhi ehsas nahi bhulega. He remembered that. And the day that Draupadi needed help. And when was that? When the Pandavas were sent to Vanvas. Draupadi, in the assembly of King Duryodhan, was being disrobed. Humility that Draupadi faced, we don't want no woman in this world to face. And she cries, Hey Govind, Hey Gopal, Hey Daya Nidhan, Mori Laj Rakho, save me. Everybody is seated, but nobody came there to help. Bhagwan Krishna is seated, and he waited. As Dusasan was disrobing Draupadi, every time he took out one vastra, it was being replaced through the grace of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Until it came to 999. Navse, Navvan, Chir Puri, Rakhi, Draupadi ki Laj. 999 Dusasan pulled, and on the 999, Bhagwan Sri Krishna destroyed Dusasan and saved the life of Draupadi. Why 999? Vyasji writes there in the Bhagavad Katha that when Bhagwan Krishna got hurt in his little finger, and when Draupadi tied that piece of sari in the finger of Draupadi, it had 999 threads. Bhagwan remembered that. And the day that Draupadi needed that help, Bhagwan was present to save her. Rakho Mori Laj. Similarly, Ganapathi had to endure the same challenges to come back to reality and understand that the importance of prasad can never be underestimated. We offer this prasad in the hope that Bhagwan will partake of it, bless it, and gives it back to us so we can have it. And when we have it, we are getting the direct blessing of Bhagwan. That is why prasad is so important. So that, in essence, that short story of Draupadi ends chapter 4. Bolo Sri Satya Narayan Bhagwan ki jai.
Bolo Satya Narayan Kali Yuga na Satya Devare Karat Jamukhi Ape
Satya Narayana
Kali Yuga na Satya Devare Karat Jamukhi
Ape
Kali Yuga na Satya Deva Ape Mithra Deva
Katuganaye Satya Deva Ape Mithra Deva
Kali Yuga na Satya Deva Ape Mithra Deva
Kali Yuga na Satya Deva Ape
Mithra Deva
Nara Hari Mana Kapat Dine Karo Satya Ni Seva
Nara Hari Man Kapat
હરી છે
કરો સત્યની સેવા.
નાર હરી મન કપટ તજીને કરો સત્યની સેવા. ઓ વાલા મારા કરો સત્યની સેવા. હે
સત્યનારાયણ સત્યનારાયણ કલિયુગના સત્યદેવ રે તરત જ મુક્તિ આપે છે.
સત્યનારાયણ સત્યનારાયણ કરિયુગમાં સાચા દેવ રે તરત જ મુક્તિ આપે રે.
કલિયુગ નાયે સાચા દેવા આપે મીઠડા મેવા.
કલિયુગમાં એ સાચા દેવા આપે મીઠડા મેવા.
નરહરી મન નરહરી મન નરહરી મન કપટ તજીને કરો સત્યની સેવા. ઓ વાલા મારા કરો સત્યની સેવા. હે
સત્યનારાયણ સત્યનારાયણ કલિયુગમાં સાચા દેવ રે તરત જ મુક્તિ આપે રે.
બાર મનવા બોલો સત્યનારાયણ દેવ કી જય.
હરિઓમ. વાહ. અધ્યાય પંચમમ. All Yajman take flowers in the hand. Chapter 5 of the Satya-Narayan Vrat Katha, story about Tungadhwaj Raja. Hari Om Suto Vacha Athanasya Pravakshyami Shrunudam Muni Sattvam Asitam Tungvadvajo Raja Prajapalana Tatpara Prasadam Satyadevasya Tyaktvam Dukhamavapacha Ekadasam Dvanam Gatva Hatva Bahu Vidyanam Pashun Agatya Vatmulam Gatam Pashyat Satyasya Pujanam Gopa Kurvanti Santushta Bhakti Yukta Sabandhavam Raja Dashtavatu Darpena Na Gato Na Nanamasa Tato Gopagana Sarve Prasada Nrupa Sannido Samstapya Punaragatya Bruktava Sarve Yatestitam Tatha Prasadam Satyatya Raja Dukham Vapatha Tasya Putra Shatam Nashtam Dhana Dhani Dakam Chayat Satya Devena Tatsarva Nashitam Mama Nischitam Atastatreva Gacchami Yatra Devasya Pujanam Manasatu Vinishritya Yayo Gopala Sannidom Tato So Satya Devasya Puja Gopagano Saham Bhakti Shraddha Vinto Bhutvam Chakaram Vidinanrupam Satya Deva Prasadenam Dana Putrana Vibhavat Iha Loke Shukam Bhuktva Chante Satya Puram Yayo Ya Idam Kurute Satya Vratam Paramam Dullabam Mamam Shrunoti Cha Katha Punyam Bhakti Yukta Phala Pradayam Danya danikam tasye bhavet satya prasadatam daridro labate vittam baddho muchet bandhanat Vito bharyat pramuchetam satyametanam samshayam ipsitam cha phalam bhuktvam chante satya puram jujet iti va katinam vipram satya narayanam vratam yat kritva sarva dukebhyo mukto bhavati manavam visheshat kali yuge satya puja phala pradam Ketitam kalam vidamtyanti satyam isham tamevahi satya narayana kechita satya devam tatha pare nana rupo dharo bhutvam sarvo shamistati pradam Hari Om bhavishyati kalu satya vrata rupi sanatanam yaha idam patate nityam Shrunoti muni sattamam satya nashyanti papani satya deva prasadatam vratam yeshtu kritam purva satya narayanasya cha tesham tvara raja janmani kathayami munishwaram shata nando mahaprajnam sudama brahmano brabhut Tasmim janmani Sri Krishnam Jatva moksham vapnuyan Kashta bharavaho billo Griha rajo babhuvaham Tasmin janmani Sri Ramam Sevyam moksham jagamavem Ulka muko maharajo Nurupo dasarato bhavat Shri Ranganatha sampujya Shri Vaikunta Vapkamat Dharmik Satya Sandascha Sadur Murdvajo Bhavat Deharda Kakorchetvam Datva Mokshamu Vapaham Tungad Vajo Maharaja Swayam Bhu Bhavat Kilam Sarvan Bhagwatan Kritvam Shri Vaikutam Tada Gaman Iti Siskanda Purane Reva Kande Satyanarayana Granthayam Panchavodhyaya Sampurnama Bolo Sri Satyanarayan Deva Ki Jai. In chapter 5 of the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha, Sudji goes on to explain another Katha that involves Tungadhvaj Raja, a beautiful example of what status can do to man. And when man assumes power, wealth, he also assumes anger, ego, ahankar, krodh. Tungadhvaj thought that he was above all, never associate with any class of people. One day goes hunting. Whilst hunting, he sees these gopis doing the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. And even at that point in time, he never associated with that. The gopis are an instrument and an extension of Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Bhagwan Krishna can't live without the gopis, and the gopis can't live without Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Even at that point in time, at the end of the Katha, the gopis offered Tungadhvaj Raja Prasad. And even that too, he didn't take. And because of that, Bhagwan Sri Krishna destroyed his entire kingdom with his whole family and children. In chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita, there's a wonderful verse there that says that whilst contemplating the object of the senses a person develops attachment for them. And from each such attachment, lust development, and from then, anger arises. When we set our mind to achieve an object of desire, take a small baby. When they don't get something, they will throw all forms of tantrums till they get what they want. Similarly, when man pursues an object of desire, and then when he doesn't get it, he will develop a form of anger. Bhagavan Krishna goes on to say that from that anger, complete delusion arises. And from that delusion, bewilderment arises, loss of memory. And when memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into this pool of material world. That is Tungadwad Raja. When he lost his entire kingdom, he was relegated to the status of a normal, common man. And what did he do? He had to go back to where the gopis were doing the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. And he joins them, bows down, begs for forgiveness, and again grants the Narayan, merciful as he is, reinstates his kingdom together with all his children. Sudji goes on to explain, when Naradji asked Bhagavan Sri Krishna, what happened to all those people in the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha? What became of them in their next birth? And Sudji goes on to say to the thousands of rishis gathered there in Naimisharanya, remember these dialogues are taking place at this very moment also. The poor Brahman in chapter 1, Shatanan, was born as Sudama in his next birth. Now we are familiar with the Sudama and Bhagavan Sri Krishna Charitra. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavan Sri Krishna and Sudama studied together and they were the best of friends. The difference was, Bhagavan Sri Krishna was the Lord of the entire universe and Sudama was a torn, tattered, poor Brahman. And at home, he used to have enough abuse from his wife. A lot of us do. You still do it? Your best friend is the king of the universe. Why can't you go and ask him for help? But Sudama was a humble soul. One day, through all that nagging, he decides to go visit Bhagavan Krishna in Dwarika. And all he got in his hand is a stick, and he's got a little bit of pova, wheat, or grains. And he arrives there in Dwarika, and the guards see him in that condition, and he says, please tell Bhagavan Sri Krishna Sudama is here to see. They refuse to believe. How can you, torn, tattered, be a friend of Bhagavan Sri Krishna? Please go and tell Sudama, Bhagavan Sri Krishna Sudama is here to see. I want you all to visualize the scene here. Here is Bhagavan Narayan sitting on his asan with Seshnag hanging over him. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. And there's Rukshmani pressing his feet. And the guards walk in and tell Bhagavan Sri Krishna, Sudama is here to see you. And Bhagavan Sri Krishna jumps up and runs to the door and hugs Sudama. The guards get shocked. And he brings Sudama and he puts him on the same asan that he was sitting on. And he instructs Rukshmani to wash his feet because he is a Brahman. Rukshmani had a doubt in her mind, and because of that doubt, there was penance that he paid later on in the Rukshmani Puran. Grudgingly, she did everything, and they sat, had whatever they wanted to do, and he goes home. Without asking anything, he goes away home. He comes home, can't find his house. He asks his neighbors, he says, I can't find my jupudi, my hut. I used to stay there. He says, no more now. You got a palace there. What? He says, yes, you got a palace there. Bhagavan Krishna knew that when Sudama goes back home, his wife will kill him. Man vanchit phal prapti artham. Bhagwan fulfilled Sudama's wishes. Bina mangne se. Without even asking, Bhagwan fulfilled Sudama's wishes. The woodcutter was born as a king of a tribe. In the Ramcharitramanas, Bhagwan Sitaji Lakshman and Bhagwan Sri Ram, 14 years vanvas. And this king of the tribe, Bhil Raja, served Bhagwan Sri Ram for 14 years. Wherever they went, he built the ashrams and served them. The Urkamukh Raja was born as Dasarath Raja in his next birth, and we all know that it is to Dasarath Raja Bhagwan Sri Ramji was born. What happened to the businessman, the Sadhu Vanya? He became the king of one of the greatest kingdoms in India, and he ruled religiously, piously. And even at that point in time, Bhagwan Narayan said, I still want to test him. And he approaches him. Here is a man that is doing Satya Narayan Vrat Katha to a level that he is beyond attachment to any material world. So when Bhagwan approaches him and asks him for half his body, he lifts his hand and he says, Bhagwan, take. Can we reach that level? We strive to reach a level where it is acceptable for all of us to find some solace, some medium, and some balance in our lives where we can appease Bhagwan and in turn enjoy the benefits of that. Tungadwad Raja was born as Manu, Swayambhu Manu. Manu and Shatrupa. Shatrupa did 10,000 years of tapasya, and Bhagwan Sri Narayan was extremely happy. Ask, what boon do you want? And all Shatrupa said was, I want you to take birth of my womb. Manu and Shatrupa are known as the Adam and Eve of creation. Bhagwan Sri Krishna took birth of Shatrupa's womb, and through that the Saptah Rishis were born, and through the Rishis all the generations of people. Naradji kept asking Bhagwan Sri Krishna about the Satya Narayan Vrat Katha. Sudji goes on to explain that those that do the Katha, take part in the Katha, those that listen to the Katha, will get the Ashirvad and the benefit of Bhagwan Sri Satyanarayan. He will fulfill everybody's wishes, everybody's desires. Satyanarayan, manavanchita phala prapti artham. Those that live in fear will overcome their fear. Those that are poor, those that want to get married, those that want to attain success in all the endeavors that they wish to undertake. Satyanarayan. Sudji goes on to say that in this age of Kali Yuga, Bhagwan Narayan has offered us one of the most simplest solutions, Satya Narayan Vrat Katha, that will alleviate all problems throughout the world. Help man in finding God. Help man in achieving what he wishes to achieve. And we all striving for liberation. We all striving to defeat the cycle of life and death. In the Ramcharitamanas, Kali Yuga is deemed to be about 435,000 years. According to our Hindi calendar, we are only about between 2,000 to 5,000 years. So you and I will be here for another 400,000 years. Bhagwan Narayan has blessed us on this wonderful auspicious day to be here to do the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha. May Bhagwan, when you bow down, may Bhagwan fulfill all your wishes, all your desires, and may you achieve success in all the endeavors that you wish to undertake. May we be saved from the calamities that we are constantly faced with. May we pray for those souls that have lost their lives through the many disasters, COVID, family, friends, relatives. Spare a thought for those. Let us hope and pray that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. At the moment, there is no light in the Zohar Hills. At the moment, there is no water in nearly half of KZN. So we are constantly faced, and prayer is our only solution. No technician is going to come and give you this light. 5 days they dug the road and they couldn't find the cable fault. And we ask ourselves, and we pray, and we keep praying, Bhagwan, show us your mercy. That, in essence, is wonderful solution called the Satyanarayan Vrat Katha in this age of Kali Yuga, where everybody will benefit and obtain the blessings of Bhagwan Sri Narayan. Bolo Sri Satyanarayan Bhagwan ki jai.
दुर्गे स्मृता हर्षि भीतिमशेष जंतो स्वस्थे स्मृता मतिमतीव शुभां ददासि दारिद्र दुख भयहारिणी कात्वदन्या सर्वोप्रकार करुणाय सदा आद्य शक्ति अम्बे मात की मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं, मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं, मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं। माता जगदम्बे माता
जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं,
मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं,
मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं, मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं,
मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं, मैं आरती तेरी उतारूं।
माता जगदम्बे बोलो
माता
जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता
जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
जय जय माता जगदम्बे
ओ माता जगदम्बे जय जगदम्बे
भवानी जय जय अम्बे
दुर्गा माता जय जय अम्बे
दुर्गा माता जय जय अम्बे
ओ दुर्गा माता जय जय अम्बे
दुर्गा माता जय जय अम्बे
जय जय अम्बे जय जय अम्बे जय जय अम्बे
जय जय अम्बे जय जय अम्बे जय जय अम्बे
शक्ति आपो भक्ति आपो जय जय अम्बे
शक्ति आपो भक्ति आपो जय जय अम्बे
श्रद्धा आपो विश्वास आपो जय जय अम्बे
श्रद्धा आपो दुखड़ा आपो जय जय अम्बे
दर्शन आपो आशीष 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 आपो जय जय अम्बे
दुखड़ा आपो शांति आपो जय जय अम्बे
दुखड़ा आपो शक्ति आपो जय जय अम्बे
दुखड़ा आपो शांति आपो जय जय अम्बे
दुखड़ा आपो शक्ति आपो जय जय अम्बे
तेरे चरणों में शीश झुकाओ
तेरी शरणों में शीश झुकाओ
तारा खोड़े माथु नमाओ
तारा खोले नाथ मावो माता जगदम्बे माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
आरती तेरी उतारू
मैं आरती तेरी उतारो
ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माँ ओ माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता
जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
माता जगदम्बे
हो मैं आरती तेरी उतारू माता जगदम्बे हो माँ हो माँ हो माँ माता जगदम्बे हो माँ बोलो आद्य शक्ति अम्बे
मात की जय
नव दुर्गा
माता की जय
बोलो श्री सत्यनारायण भगवान
की जय
श्री अच्युतम
केशवम श्री राम नारायण कृष्ण दामोदरम वासुदेवल्लभम श्रीधरम माधवम गोपिका वल्लभम श्रीरामचन्द्रायकं रामचन्द्रं भजे राम 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 तारकं श्री राम कृष्ण वासुदेव भक्ति मुक्तिदायकं शंकराय श्रीरमाय गोविन्दाय कीर्तनम् श्रीरामचन्द्रमनोहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्
बोलो श्री
सत्यनारायण
भगवान की
जय
आराधिकम् You can all rise, prepare your arti tharis.
Very nice.
2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
I'll do.
2 minutes.
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om
Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Om
Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Om
Narayana Satya Narayana Satya Narayana Hari Om
Narayana Satya Narayana Satya Narayana Hari Om
Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Narayana Hari Om
Narayana Satya Narayana Satya Narayana Hari Om
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om
Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om
Om Hari Om Hari Om Bajore Sada Om Hari Om Hari Om
Satya Narayan Bhagavan
Bhagwan ki jai. Krishna Kanhaiya
Lal ki
Om Jaya Jagadish Hari
Prabhu Jaya Jagadish Hari Bhakt
जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट
क्षण में दूर
करे
Om Jaya Jagadish Hare
जो जावे फल पावे सुख विनसे मन का
प्रभु दुख विनसे मन का
सुख संपत्ति घर आवे
सुख संपत्ति घर आवे
कष्ट मिटे तन का
Om Jaya Jagadish Hare
मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गौ में किसकी
प्रभु शरण गौ में किसकी
तुम बिना और
न दूजा प्रभु बिना और न दूजा
आश करूं मैं जिसकी
Om Jaya Jagadish Hare
तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी
प्रभु तुम अंतर्यामी
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर
तुम सबके स्वामी
Om Jaya Jagadish Hare
तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता
प्रभु तुम पालन करता
मैं बालक अज्ञानी
बालक ज्ञानी
कृपा करो भरता
ओम जय जगदीश
हरे
तुम हो एक अगोचर
सबके
प्राणपति
प्रभु सबके प्राणपति किस विध मिलू दयामय किस विध मिलू दयामय तुमको मैं तुमकी ओम जय जगदीश हरे दीनबंधु दुख हरता रक्षक तुम मेरे प्रभु रक्षक तुम मेरे करुणा हस्त भराओ करुणा हस्त भराओ शरण परा तेरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे विषय विकार मिटाओ पाप हरो देवा प्रभु पाप हरो देवा श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ संतन की सेवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे ओम जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे कर्पूर गौरम करुणावसारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसन्तनियारविन्दे भवन् भवानी सहितं नमामि मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुड़ध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनो हरि सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते.
One person from the Yajmans can sprinkle water out around Aarti Tharide, the teaspoon, 3 times around. Hari Om Yani Kani Cha Papani Janmanta Katani Cha Tani Sarvani Nashyantu Pradakshinam Pade Pade. Give Aarti to the Bhagwan. Deva Deva Bhivandanam Deva Deva Bhivandanam Deva Deva Bhivandanam Deva Deva Bhivandanam. Give Aarti around. Hari Om Sarva Dishayam Vandanam Chaturtam Dishayam Vandanam Deva Deva Bhinandanam. All take Aarti and take your seats also. Hari Om Atma Kalyana Vandanam Atma Kalyana Vandanam Atma Kalyana Vandanam.
बोलो कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की जय. मारा मन्नो थार अने तारा मन्नो भा बोल हरि बोल तने भावे छे के नहीं.
तारा मननो थार अने तारा मननो भाव बोल हरि बोल तने भावे छे के नहीं.
बोल हरि बोल तने भावे छे के नहीं.
बोल हरि बोल तने भावे छे के नहीं.
भक्त विदुरनी भाजी खाधी ते पण मांगी मांगीने.
भक्त विदुरे भाजी खाधी ते पण मांगी मांगी.
32 बात ना भोजन लावो जमो छो के नहीं. बोल हरि बोल તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ભાવ તારા મનનો ભાવ બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં?
બોલ હરી બોલ તને
ભાવે કે નહીં?
ગોકુળમાં તે માખણ ખાધું, તે પણ ચોરી ચોરીને.
ગોકુળ માટે માખન ખાધું, તે પણ ચોરી ચોરીને.
ભાત ભાતના મેવા લાવો આરોગો કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ભાવ તારા મનનો ભાવ બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં?
સબરી બાઈના મોર જે ખાધા, તે પણ એઠા જૂઠા રે.
સબરી માયના બોર જ ખાધા, તે પણ એઠા જૂઠા કે.
મીઠા મીઠા વનફળ લાવો ચાખો છો કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ધાર તારા મનનો ભાવ બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં?
નિરમળ નિરના કળશ ભર્યા છે, તે પણ ઠંડા ઠંડા રે.
નિર્મળ નીરના કરજ ભર્યા, તે પણ એના ઠંડા રે.
પ્રેમની તત્વો નીરજ લાવો પીવો છો કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ભાર તારા મનનો ભાર બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં?
બાઈ મીરાએ તારા દર્શન કીધા, તે પણ નાચી નાચીને.
બાઈ મીરાએ દર્શન કીધા, તે પણ નાચી નાચી.
આવ કનૈયા આજ કનૈયા આવો છો કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તું તો આવે છે કે નહીં? હરી બોલ તું તો
આવે કે નહીં? મારા મનનો ઠાર તારા મનનો ભાવ બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ભાર અને તારા મનનો ભાવ, બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
મારા મનનો ભાર અને તારા મનનો ભાવ બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં? બોલ હરી બોલ તને ભાવે છે કે નહીં?
બોલો કૃષ્ણ કનૈયા લાલ કી જય.
हरि ओम मंत्र पुष्पांजलि. Everybody take flowers in the hand. All rise. हरि ओम विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रियाय लंबोदराय सकलाय जगत्पिताय नागाननाय श्रुतियज्ञ विभूषिताय गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते भगतार्तिनसनपराय गणेश्वराय सर्वेश्वराय सुबदाय सुरेश्वराय विद्याधराय विकटाय च वामनाय भक्त प्रसन्न वरदाय नमो नमस्ते हरि ओम शांताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिर्विद्यानगम्यं वंदे विष्णु भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं ओम पापकर्मा हम पापात्मा पापसंभव त्राहि मां पुंडरीकाक्ष सर्वपापो हरो हरिं ओम अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्माद् कारुणभावेनं रक्ष मां परमेश्वरं हरि ओम यज्ञेन यज्ञमय जंत देवां स्थानि धर्मानि प्रथमानि सन् तेह नाकं महिमानः सचन्त यत्र पूर्वे साध्याः सन्ति देवां सन्ति देवां हरि ओम भूर्भुवस्वहं सत्यनारायण देवताभ्यो नमो नमः लक्ष्मीनारायण देवताभ्यो नमो नमः सर्वदेवताभ्यो नमो नमः पितृभ्यो नमो नमः मातृभ्यो नमो नमः गुरुभ्यो नमो नमः ब्राह्मणेभ्यो नमो नमः रिद्धि सिद्धि सहित मंत्र पुष्पांजलि चरण कमले समर्पयामि offer it at the feet of Narayan मंत्र पुष्पांजलि चरण कमले समर्पयामि शांति पाठ हरि ओम द्यौ शांति अंतरिक्ष त्वं शांति पृथ्वी शांति आपः शांति
औषधयः शांति वनस्पतयः शांति विश्वे देवा शांति ब्रह्म शांति सर्वगं शांति शांतिरेव शांति सामा शांतिरेधि ओम शांति शांति शांति
सुशांतिर्भवतु बोलो श्री सत्यनारायण
भगवान की जय
गणपति गजानंद
की जय
श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण
भगवान की जय
श्री राम लक्ष्मण
जानकी जय
पवन सुत
हनुमान की जय
शिव शंकर
भोलेनाथ की जय
राधे
कृष्ण भगवान की जय
आद्य शक्ति अम्बे
मात की जय
आद्य शक्ति सरस्वती
मात की जय
सदगुरु
देव की जय
हरि नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महादेव हर bow down push your stools back you can come in the front and bow down हरि ओम मंत्रहीनम क्रियाहीनम भक्तिहीनम सुरेश्वरम यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णात्तरस्तु मे अपराध सहस्राणि क्रियन्ते अनिशन्मयदासुमिति मामत्वशमक्ष्वं परमेश्वरम् आवाहनं न जानामि तवार्चनं पूजान्तेव न जानामि समक्ष्वं परमेश्वर अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्माद् कारुण्यभावेनं रक्ष मां परमेश्वर Jai Shri Krishna. Yajmans can please remain seated. Ansu. check with Sunil if anybody is speaking. We do Chandlo, then you sing one bhajan, yeah.
Sing.
1 minute. Thank you. Yajmans will remain seated. Please note, the volunteers will come around and assist you in removing all the prasadam for you to take home. They will do that for you. Okay? Can we send the Aarti and Panchamrit out to the...
His father's song.
And so?
His father's
Aarti and Panchamrit out to...
Your father's song. Nice. That one, all right. Okay, this one?
Yeah.
That one you? Okay. Change. Yeah.
Okay,
Play now.
volunteers will come around.
I'll play in tune. I'll play some in tunes.
Yeah, speaking. Make the announcements first. On behalf of Saptah Mandir, the Surat Arya Bhajan Mandal, firstly, we'd like to thank each and every one of you, especially to our wonderful Yajmans for joining us in this Satya Narayan Vrat Katha, and also to each and every one of you to find and make the time to join us in this Katha also. May we, through the grace of Bhagwan Narayan, bless you, protect you, guide you, and may you achieve the success in all the endeavors that you wish to undertake. We also like to place our sincere thanks and appreciation to the executive, the management committee, and of course, the volunteers that have made this Mandir into a place of worship like Mathura and Vrindavan, where we feel so comfortable and created a vibrant atmosphere together with the melodious bhajans rendered by the Surat Arya Bhajan Mandal and the Bhajan Mandal members. I think they all deserve a wonderful round of applause. To the many sponsors and donors that have assisted us in this Katha also, to them also our thanks and appreciation. Please note that Saptah Mandir will continue to offer what we call quality religious services at all times, pending the outcome of COVID. And now we've got a new virus called monkeypox. So please, we are asking everybody to be extremely cautious during this period that we are faced with. The monkeypox is a part of the chickenpox and smallpox family and must be treated in the same manner that we treat chickenpox and monkeypox. It is said that the rituals that we perform will be the same for monkeypox also. It is also said that if you have anybody gets monkeypox, it is said that Mataji has come to your house. So we say that please observe the rituals during this period where anybody, during any one of those diseases from chickenpox to smallpox to measles or now to monkeypox, do those and follow those rituals. Lastly, again, we're going to pray to Bhagwan to guide our leaders throughout the world, to give them some sense of normality that must prevail, because we want peace in the world. And if peace is attained, everybody will be happy. And we must pray continuously for our own protection, but also pray for the protection of the world. Dharti Mata cannot sustain the evil that is happening in this world at this very moment. That is why we need to balance the atmosphere in the earth by continuous prayer And prayer is only solution that we have. Bhajan, Kirtan, Satsang. Those are the avenues within which man can attain liberation. So please once again, thank you to everybody for joining us. Please note that lunch is being provided on the upper hall. The Yajmans will bow down and then they will make their way for lunch also. We will all come down there to take Asirvad also of the main Stapna area. And then Man Vanchit Fal Prapti Artham. When you bow down, whatever wishes you have, Bhagwan Narayan will fulfill them. That is our fervent prayer. Hari Om, Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Sri Hari. Arti Panchamrit must be out already, please.
दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंदलाल मेरे नैनों के तारे, दीनानाथ दयाल सकल गुण, नव किशोर सुंदर मुख वाले, मनमोहन मन रुक्त न रोक्यो, दर्शन की चित चाह हमारे, और रसिक खुशाल मिलन की आशा, निश दिन सुमिरन ध्यान लगा ले। कृष्ण कन्हैया
लाल की जय।
ओ खुशियों के दीप जलाओ, सब नाचो झूम के गाओ गाओ, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला।
खुशियों के दीप जलाओ, सब नाचो झूम के गाओ गाओ रे, घर
आए हमारे नंद लाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला।
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला।
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे,
घर आए
हमारे नंद लाला।
मोहन जब मुरली बजाए,
मोहन जब मुरली बजाए,
मोहन जब मुरली बजाए,
मोहन जब मुरली बजाए,
मेरा मन व्याकुल हो जाए,
ओ मेरा मन व्याकुल हो जाए,
मेरा मन व्याकुल हो जाए,
ओ मेरा मन व्याकुल हो जाए।
मधुबन में रास रचाई रे,
मधुबन में रास रचाई,
मधुबन में रास रचाई रे,
मधुबन में रास रचाई।
नंदला के मुझको नचाए,
नंदला के मुझको नचाई,
संगनाथे मुझको नचाए,
संगनाथे मुझको नचाई।
ओ मुझे प्रीत से रंग रंग डाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला।
खुशियों के दीप जलाओ, सब नाचो झूम के गाओ गाओ, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे, घर आए हमारे नंद लाला।
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला,
घर आए हमारे
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला,
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला,
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे,
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे,
घर आए हमारे नंद लाला रे,
घर आए हमारे
नंदलाला रे
घर आए हमारे नंदलाला
घर आए हमारे नंदलाला
घर आए हमारे नंदलाला रे घर
आए हमारे नंदलाला रे
घर आए हमारे नंदलाला रे घर आए हमारे नंदलाला घर आए हमारे नंदलाला रे
आए हमारे नंदलाला
ओ खुशियों के दीप जलाओ सबना जो तुम गाओ गाओ
रे घर आए
हमारे नंदलाला
रे घर आए
हमारे नंदलाला कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की
All Yajmans, are they still here, everybody? Thank you. I want everybody, all the Yajmans, to take 1 teaspoon of Soji Prasad in their hand. All Yajmans, please. For me too? બહુ ભૂખ લાગેલી છે. Keep quiet you. Shh, 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 shh. Thank you. At the end of the mantra, we will all have the prasad. Thank you. राम नाम की लूट है अने लूटी सके तो लूट अंत काल पछताएगा जब प्राण जाएगा छूट राम ने वाया राम की अनेक बसे गंगा के तीर अयोध्या नगरी श्री राम की जा चौकी हनुमंत वीर राम ने वाली राम नगरी अने सीता ने वाला श्री राम ईश्वर ने वाला पार्वती अने गोपी ने वाला कान सीतापति की कोटड़ी अने चंदन गढ़े कमाल नारी प्रीति नर थयो प्रभुए सो दीन दयाणु मोर मुगट सिर पर धर्यो अने मुख मुरली धन गोर वृंदावन की कुंज में प्रभु जय जय युगव किशोर प्रसाद पाम्या सौ जनो अने पहुंचा मनना कोट एक वार सौ बोलजो प्रभु जय जय युगल किशोर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय उमापति महादेव की जय वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय रमापति रामचंद्र की जय बोलो सत्यनारायण भगवान की
जय
हरि ओम प्रसाद भक्षणम Thank you. Please allow